Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. It is I, Jesse Milestone, coming to you on this Friday with both good news and bad news.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Where people were just walking around, just jizzing force all over the place. He looks like he has been drinking soy from his mother's teat. Wrap yourselves in, guys, because we are gonna get mean.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Don't get penis.
Entertainment. What's everyone saying?
Great kid, don't get cocky.
Cody made it for me. It's perfect. How
Gotta
is it
love
not?
Cody.
Is it not? Okay, I am Han Solo. He is my spirit animal. So.
Oh, Jesse, you should know. I found a sexy Han Solo costume at this Halloween store. I was getting like cosplay stuff from. I couldn't stop laughing here. I took a picture. I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter.
Oh my
and
God,
I just thought
please.
of it right now.
Oh my
It's
God.
called Sexy Scoundrel because they can't name it like Star Wars.
Yes. Oh my God, my life. So it literally just looks like all of the college girls in the fall.
Right.
No. It actually looks like Han
I
Solo,
know,
but if it was a chick wearing a crop top and a short skirt.
I fucking love it. I don't know how to feel about this, but I'm curious.
You guys are gonna
I'm
crack up when I
intrigued.
show you. I honestly should have bought it. I might go back and buy it.
I mean, look, if they have it in my size, I might want it. I'm just saying. Good day, God Empresses. That's super hard to pluralize. Well, there's really only one God Empress. Everyone else has their own wonderful name, titles, monikers. And let me get to introduce them. Guys, this is my super awesome Giganto Matriarchy today because I have an exciting thing to discuss, to announce, to share with you guys. But I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful, amazing co-host, Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Hi. Hello, I'm here. I'm having technical difficulties, so if I go mute, it's not my fault. My computer hates me. Okay, I just sent it in the group chat.
Okay, I am excited. We might have to share this.
Oh
my
excuse me,
goodness.
Sexy Smuggler is what it's called.
Sexy Smuggler. There you go. There it is.
That is perfect.
I kind of love it.
Honestly,
I do
that's
kind of love it.
perfect.
But it's kind of excellent. Here you guys go. Boop, boop, boop. Bam. That's that's something. It looks like
The only thing
they
is
just
it's
adapted.
$59.
Oh God.
Wow.
Oh no. No,
I know. I
not
was like,
for
fuck
that.
that. I'll find it.
Not
I
for
think
that.
that's why I didn't buy it. I was like, I'll find it on Amazon. But you gotta admit, for like a chick Han Solo costume, that's pretty good.
It's pretty on point, but you could get like the same basic aesthetic if you got like a piratey blouse with a black vest and a
I was about to
navy
say, I
blue
feel like they
skirt.
adapted a pirate costume for this one. They're like, oh, let's just take a pirate costume and then like add the Han Solo, patterning over it. That'll be great. Anyway,
Hey, whatever
Yeah,
works.
$60. That's a lot. I could make that for 20.
You go to the thrift
Maybe
store and get
30.
all that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, Mary, I will get the
Yep.
materials and let's talk.
I
Jet
I think
Sparks,
it looks good. I personally think it looks good.
Jet Sparks finds it far too tame.
I think it would look good if it was $20.
yeah.
I personally
I'm
think
it would look good if it was $20.
It would look a lot
I
better if it was $20, not $59.
Yeah. It's not
I
that
personally-
recognizable. I don't see Han Solo. I know it's the adaptation of his outfit for like the female form and like sexy-ish pinup style, but it just doesn't remind me of a smuggler or Han Solo or scoundrel.
I agree.
See,
what I was gonna
what you need is the blaster. You need the blaster in her hand, not that weird weapon she's
Well,
holding.
what I was gonna say was, I actually think it's the skirt. I actually think a sexy Han Solo needs the pants. You need some skin tight pants, some sexy ass tall boots, knee high boots, not this little ankle booty shit. You need the pants, like whatever on top. Like as long as the colors match, the top is a little bit more in flux. But Han's like the pants, the boots, like that's part of the outfit. And let's face it, that's a unisex sexy look. Tight ass pants and tall boots are sexy no matter who you put it on. And that's going back to the days when like riding chic was the nicest you could wear. So don't ask my word. Don't take my word for it. This is like hundreds of years of tradition behind it.
High-waisted pants with a tucked-in shirt. I think that looks
Right?
that shit looks good to
Right?
me. I'm just saying.
We're all drooling a little bit over
I'm more
Harrison
like a
Ford right now.
low
and It's
ride
okay.
jean kind of person.
Low ride. My sister really liked riding. Not My sister loved wearing lowrider jeans back in the day. They're nice. They're comfortable. I always thought they were.
So the problem with hip huggers for me is that like my hips are about like 8 inches wider than my waist. So if I try to wear those, you always get like you lose my form. You just get all butt crack and nothing attract. I need at least like regular rise. Otherwise,
Can I get a parody account of plumber butt crack Jesse?
I'm serious. I got serious crack problem. Back in the fucking 90s were the worst for me when everything was fucking hip hugger this, hip hugger that, lowrider jeans. It was terrible. Belts could not save me. There was so much crack. There was so much crack in the 90s. So
yeah. I need plumber butt crack Jesse in the chat as soon as possible, please.
Oh no!
Just call it my Christmas present. I will totally take that as my Christmas present. Like, just need this. I need this in my life.
Well, let's continue on with the introductions. A woman who needs none. And now you know what she wants for Christmas. Guys, Mary Mayhem, thank you for joining us today, Mary.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here. I actually have questions for you about this campaign that you're starting, my dear. I have real questions. And I expect you to get down to brass tacks with me on what this means.
I will. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. And sandwiched in between Mary and I is the lovely, amazing, wonderful Kelly, also known as Jedi Bunny.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me here. And I can attest that having met Jessie in person, she has a phenomenal out of this world waist to hip ratio. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm wearing shorts, so I might stand up for you guys later. Who knows? We'll see how things go. If it's a good day, if it's a good day. Here, let's get us all a little bigger. This is like cozy. I feel like this format always makes me feel like we're hanging out with each other.
It's like an internet hug.
Right? This way it's like, oh, we're all in our little panels presenting our information for the class. And here it's like, we're fucking chilling.
And here it's like, hey, Kelly, I'm gonna need you to hand me that soda you got right next to you.
Oh, I got it for you, my dear. Here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Dude, what's happening?
There was, I don't know if you could, there was a last time I streamed with Andy Signor, we started it like with our faces on the split like that, and we actually did a split screen. There you go.
The ratio's a little off.
Yeah,
there we go. It's closer. Oh, that could work. Oh, there it is.
Terrify the audience. Our final member of this panel of this sleepover for now, because we have one more joining, is Sweep. Well, I get to call it Sweep. You guys know it's Baby Outlaw.
Hey y'all, I'm Baby Outlaw, and I am so happy to fucking be here today. Thank you for having me, Jesse, and thank you guys for letting me share your time with you. It's amazing.
Thank you for being here. And I just want to let you guys all know everybody's channels, everybody's links are down in the description, including Anna's calendar, Indiegogo, and Mandy's Pirate Queen 2. Mandy Summers will be joining us as soon as she is able. And so all of their links are down below. I will try to share those mods. Please grab those and share those as well. Nova, hi, Kitty. Kitty. I had a background kitty briefly, but maybe we'll get another one back later. So welcome everybody. I've gathered you all here today because I am starting a fencing club. So that's something I've thought about doing for a long time and wasn't sure if I would. And now here we are, and it's happening. So that's sort of exciting.
Jesse, I'm curious, what gave you what was the big push that made you decide, okay, I'm doing it? I'm curious.
It was my student Jolene. She is incredible. So I have this wonderful student that I started working with like 3-4 years ago now. Even though she's only 11, been working with her for that long. And she hold on. I should have thought. I was like, wait a second. Did I even put my own Indiegogo link into the stream description? Oh God, stop. No, bad. I clicked pause for a reason. Sorry. I just realized I was like, I didn't not even put my own Indiegogo link into this. Let me take care of that while I'm explaining this to you guys. So
it was for dramatic effect.
All the dramatic. That's what I live for. I live for the dramatic effect. So my little bitty fencer, I was giving her private lessons up there, and she didn't have, for a while we had a small group class, but it wasn't really enough to sustain her. I see people coming over from Mandy, so perhaps I think we'll be getting ourselves a Mandy pretty soon over here. Anywho, I digress. So yeah, and then she started working out at a group program, but they had to drive a pretty far distance to get there, and over time it became clear too that this culture at this club that she was attending just wasn't the right fit for her. Now I don't want to disparage anybody else in any other clubs or the way that they do their business. I actually like these guys quite a bit, and we're really tight. But it just wasn't the right fit for her. And I've been through many clubs. I've been through some that I really fit in with. And when you do, it's like a family. It's like your second home. I mean, it's everything. And when you don't, it's just like, it's just not right. We've all been there. We've all like been to that party where we don't really know anybody and you don't really like fit the vibe. And you're just like, all right, I'm here because you invited me, and I'll stay the requisite amount of time and then politely say goodbye. And I just didn't want my student who works so hard, who comes and takes private lessons every day of the week with me, to not have that same environment that I had. And then the landscape of Saber in this area was changing. When I came out, you had a few clubs, and not all of them got along because they were the results of like certain rifts that had happened before I came out. Because let me tell you, fencing politics, it's wild. There's like so much of it. It's the most cutthroat, backstabby place. Like Hollywood politics ain't got nothing on fencing politics. I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. I can tell you fucking horror stories. I'm gonna write the goddamn book one day. It's gonna be awesome. And that's actually shit I'll tell you about here too. Like I'll tell you how I'm going to make so many enemies in the fencing world doing my club the way I'm doing, and for reasons that will blow your mind. But yeah, I wanted to create that environment for her, and I realized there were other fencers that I had relationships with because I work as a referee locally all over the place and nationally, internationally as well. But I work a lot locally, and so I made relationships with a lot of the families, a lot of the don't worry, Holden Girl, I will spill all the tea. I do not care about these fuckers. I do not want to protect any of these people. So there's just certain things I can't say until I'm ready to fight all the defamation lawsuits, because it's like, yes, it's 100% true. Did you need to say that publicly online? Did it have any purpose other than to hurt this person's business? Not really. So, defamation is still a thing. Anyway, defamation is still a thing. But I just hated this idea that we had the way the clubs were going. There were great opportunities, but we had this guy, an Olympic saber fencer from Russia, come over to start a club and actually to take over. Do you guys want to hear the drama? Actually, because there's how it's kind of funny.
Can you tell the campaign first, because I can only be here for another 20-ish minutes.
Good call. Let's do the campaign first, and then I will get into juicy stories, the details, the drama. Thank you, Anna. This is why I need you in my life, because she's like, I know how to do things.
I kind of know how to do things. Yeah.
Sorry, Anna, you can critique my Indiegogo, since you're really good at formatting those.
I have no place to do that, but
you totally do. You're so good at this.
I already know all the juicy stories, so I'm like, tell me about the campaign. And then
okay, so the campaign. Do you guys want to watch my pitch video?
Yes. I've seen it, which is where I get some of my questions from, but I still want to see it again because
Okay. So here's the pitch. We'll do a little. Welcome to the Indiegogo for Milestone Fencing Studio. I am Jesse Milestone. Yes, there is a connection. And before I tell you anything else about this, sorry, we're not getting sound. Super exciting announcement, which is that I am no longer an I in this endeavor. I am now a we, because Saber Scream Pasadena, which is a great little saber program in Pasadena, actually is in need of a location. And so we are bringing them into the Milestone Fencing fold, along with Coach Blue, who is a dear friend of mine, and I'm so excited to be working with. Also, can't name any names yet because nothing is quite finalized, but I've got a couple of really incredible saber coaches who have their site.
We can't hear you, Jesse.
On sunny California. So we are going to knock you out with an all-star lineup of coaches. It's going to be amazing. Anyone in Southern California, I cannot wait to see you there. But if you're not local, there are still so many reasons why. why you should support a fencing club like this, or any fencing club. If you need those reasons, check out my video, Why Fencing, over on Milestone Fencing Studio, the YouTube channel. And if that doesn't convince you enough, well, I've got some special perks just for you, things you can take home, hang on your wall, or hang on mine, because the very first perk, everybody who backs the Indiegogo is going to get their name on our founder's banner, which will hang proudly in the club for all of time. And then above that, I have this incredible digital print from photographer Dennis Mamero. You can look him up. He's awesome, of a fencer in full flunge. It's me. And that will be at the next tier up. And then, speaking of beautiful, awesome art, and wonderful, wonderful, lucky things that you happen to have, like boyfriends who are incredibly talented artists who have, I don't know, wildly successful comic books and stuff. Mine designed a logo. That beautiful logo you see plastered everywhere is also going to be available for you guys on a button and on a beanie and on a shirt in those various tiers. Above that, we have a celebrity tier. That's right. I have a pirate for you. Got you guys a pirate, not just any pirate. Isaac C. Singleton Jr., the actor. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as tons of movies that you've seen and love, like Anger Management, Deadpool, etc., etc. And if you back at that tier, if you can attend the grand opening, you will get to meet him in person and get your signed picture with him. If you are not anywhere local and you cannot attend the grand opening, then we will still send you a personalized autograph picture from Isaac, as well as all of the other perks in that tier. And then if you are local and love awesome perks and rewards, you can become one of our premium founding members. And in addition to all those other wonderful things, you will start out your membership with 50 free private lessons with the instructor of your choice. Now, we have a lot that we need to do in order to get this club up and running. A fencing club needs a floor. We're going to need to tear down walls, put in lights, put in strips, get equipment, all of that stuff. And so we are aiming as high as we can. And if we hit $50,000 on this campaign, anybody who's already getting something in the mail from us is also going to get a Milestone Fencing Studio sticker, pretty shiny vinyl sticker sent to you along with all of that. If we can get all the way up to $100,000 on this campaign, then every single person, that's why we're asking for everybody's address, even if you have not signed up for a physical perk, every single person will receive a Milestone Fencing Studio sticker if we reach that 100,000. And if we do that, then we are going to be off to the races with and have an amazing, amazing head start to getting off the ground with this awesome business endeavor. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much for your support. And I cannot wait to see you in the club.
So that's not the video I saw. The other one, we can't hear you, Jesse.
Yeah, so there is also the Why Fencing video that I will play in a little bit too. How do I?
I love that video. I love that. It got me all hyped up.
Yeah. I was excited, and I'm excited because you made mention in the video that you're like, look, this adds like a lot in terms of like what can it do to change your life, right? Like what it can do to change, and it got me thinking about like the kids that I knew when I was growing up that were in things like martial arts and karate and things like that. They had a great deal of discipline, and that leaks into other aspects of your life, right? This ability to sort of master a skill, and I don't think you call fencing a trade, but like master a skill to step into something and to have a certain level of control about yourself. That leaks into other areas, and it absolutely can positively impact not just a person who's taking the lessons, but other people who come in contact with them, who see how well they're able to sort of control themselves and how they engage with things. And it's a mindset. It really is a mindset when you engage with something and you hone that. And so I absolutely agree with you 100% that when you engage with something that really asks something of you, that demands something of you, you grow so much from that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thanks, man. And it really, that's exactly what I'm trying to convey. And so the fact that it's like, it's coming through and that you're picking up what I'm laying down, I'm like, yes. Okay. It's all like, that's what I've been feeling from all this campaign. Everyone's just like, I feel like everyone's just picking up what I'm laying down. So thank you for being one of those people. I want to jump into before I forget, because I didn't talk about this enough. I was going to do this the day one perk, and I was like, I didn't tell enough people when this is starting. So I do want people to know until the end of October, I am offering that celebrity photo op perk at 25% off. That's my $1,000 tier. So you can get that for $750 until the end of October.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's exciting. And that Isaac C. Singleton Jr., go look. His IMDb is linked down in here as well. You can just go look him up. He's been on my streams before. He has an incredible resume. In addition to being one of the pirates in the original Pirates of the Caribbean movie, he was in Anger Management. He was in Deadpool. He was in one of the Transformers movies, the Planet of the Apes movie. He was in the season 2 of The Mandalorian. And he voices Thanos and like all of Marvel's animated stuff. So really, really awesome guy. Great friend. And so if you can attend our grand opening, which let me go through here a little bit. The dream, this is sort of, you guys already heard this. This is pretty much everything that you heard in that video pitch right there. But yes, we are going to do a grand opening for anyone who lives locally or, feels like traveling. Our tentative date is set at February 5th, subject to change if we hopefully can move that up, by doing real good. But if it moves back, it moves back. But anyways, grand opening, we're going to have food, fencing demonstrations, opportunities for you to participate, and a photo op with Isaac for those who backed at that tier where you'll actually get to do an action pose with him. I might even convince him to dress up, even though he usually doesn't. But and even if you didn't back at that tier and you don't get the fancy action pose, you'll still get to meet him, say hi, etc. Meet us, the whole coaching staff, see the facility, etc. So that's one of the really exciting things coming in the club when we get to that point in the club, to the opening part. So yeah. So here's the about me part. You guys want to hear my fencing resume?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
This is me. So I started fencing 17 years ago at the Fencing Academy of Philadelphia. In my first year competing, I fenced all 3 weapons, that's foil, epee, and saber, often going to multiple events in the same weekend, even though it was clear that I would ultimately become a saber fencer. Or I'll tell you guys more about that later. And in my senior year of college, I took my first job assistant. Oops, that's supposed to say my senior year of high school. I'm a liar. I should edit my own damn campaign. In my senior year of high school, I took my first job assistant coaching for the Fencing Academy of Philadelphia. I attended Bennington College, where I founded the Bennington Pruitt Squad, a fencing club, which ultimately resulted in the creation of the Bennington Athletic Department. I coached all 3 weapons, and we competed in intercollegiate events, including club nationals. During that time, I also ran a program at a local private school, held classes for the community, and taught fencing summer camps back in Philadelphia. While in Vermont, I traveled to Beaches, New York to train. After moving to Los Angeles, I traveled with Michael DeSaro Jr. at Sal DeSaro until he moved to Texas. I coached Z Fencing Los Angeles and then ran a small satellite program for Sal DeSaro. From that, I ultimately developed a roster of private students, one of whom I have now coached to her first national medal, which she earned in Y10 Women's Saber at Nationals this past year. I'm also nationally rated referee in all 3 weapons. I've officiated saber at multiple NCAA regional championships, Division I national championship finals, and European cadet circuit events. I have served as a signer at the national level, and I'm a certified referee observer. My most notable results as a fencer include a 2nd place finish in Division II Women's Saber at Summer Nationals in 2009, a 3rd place in Women's Saber at New England Intercollegiate Fencing Championships, the big one, in 2012, and 1st place in Division IA Women's Saber at the Cobra Regional Open Circuit event in 2014. So that's my resume as a fencer. Jeff read that yesterday and he was like, I didn't know all that about you. So that's what I've spent the past 17 years of my life doing, secretly out of very much off of YouTube.
That's so cool. I love that you have this whole side of you outside of the YouTube sphere where you're so dedicated and committed to this, and it's such a passion for you. And I just love that you're making it. And like what Mary was saying about it being such a personal growth system for people, like people that have never done it in their lives that get into something like Mary was saying about martial arts, the discipline of that and the self-regard, the self-respect, the understanding of boundaries for time and energy and space. Those are all really important tools. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it leaks into your life in a lot of different ways. And I love how you put that, the self-regard that comes with that, right? Yeah. Like it's such a confidence booster to be able to employ a skill like this. And like setting aside the practical aspects, although there are so many in terms of how this can positively influence your life. There's also the fun aspects too, right? Like just the ton of fun that you get to have engaging with it, period. But then like literally I'm sitting here like kind of quasi daydreaming about the lightsaber battle I am going to have with Jessie at a meetup. Like this is happening. Yes. Like I'm sitting, okay, so she's gonna kick my ass, right?
But it's having so much fun.
Maybe maybe I should do something about that.
Dude, I'm going to have, specifically, for the fans, like training camp, like meetup camp things like, so, hey, come out for a long weekend and we'll all get together. Me, your other favorite creators, and, a bunch of fans will all get together and do like a crazy lightsaber fucking smackdown. I'll
That
teach you
sounds
guys
like
some
so
shit
much
the
fun.
first, day or so, and then we'll just go to town.
That just sounds like so much fun.
Right?
An absolute blast.
Exactly. So I wanted to make sure I threw in a little link to Saber Scream Pasadena. That's the other club that I'll be partnering up with. It was just like kind of just a perfect opportunity. It's a good friend of mine. And I was like, hey, you still running your little program, right? You guys just kind of rent out of a dance studio, right? And he was like, yeah, and we might lose it because the landlord is selling the building. And we're like, oh, well, do you want to come take your program and bring it into my program and we'll do this together? And he was like, I have been wanting you to come coach for me for like a zillion years. So yes, we're just going to come coach together. So it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Plus, like I said in the video, I have 2 other coaches planning on actually relocating to this area potentially to join the club to coach with me. So here's the perks. It's up at the $5 level, but basically anybody who backs is going to get their name printed on our founders banner. We'll have a big old banner hung up in the club with every single person who backs this campaign written on there. So that's exciting. This is your $10 digital print. You got a little logo up in the corner. But this, as well as you saw the other photography up there, I have this incredible collection of fencing photos of myself taken by photographer Dennis Mamero, who is he's a really, really talented photographer. You can check out his work on Instagram, online, all over. And he does, like, his big thing is he loves doing sport photography, like in nature or in unnatural locations for it. And so we went out to a hill overlooking downtown LA and did these photos. So this is one of those. This is just taken by a professional photographer, all that lovely stuff, incredibly ridiculously high resolution. Like, this takes up so much space on my computer all the time. Jesse falling off a cliff. Exactly. This is called a flunge. That's the action that is. It's a portmanteau of flying and lunge. So that's what that action is. You come to my club, I'll teach you how to do it. But yeah, so that's the $10 digital print. You will get that. And then everybody who backs at a higher tier, I'll give it, like I said, everybody who backs at the name of the founders banner, and anyone who backs at a higher tier will also get the $10 digital print included. So then at the 25, you'll get the button, shiny little 2-inch button, Milestone Fencing Studio, pretty tight. Up at the 50, you will get the beanie. At the 75, you will get the shirt. And as I pointed out, this logo was designed by Jeff. I am in love with it. I'll talk about the color scheme too in a little bit, because that's actually, there's thought behind it. This is my featured tier because I think it's absolutely the best value. You'll get all of the swag at the $100 tier. You'll get the beanie, the shirt, the buttons, the digital print, and your name on the banner. These other tiers before that, you will only get the specific featured item as well as the digital print and your name on the banner. Then, of course, there's the $1,000 celebrity photo op, which right now until August 31st is going to be only $750. And that is all of the above, plus a celebrity opportunity with Isaac Singleton Jr. And if you can't attend the grand opening to meet him in person, do all that, we will have him write a personalized message for you that we'll send to you. So yeah, I hope you can come meet him if you can, because he's just really cool. And then we have our 5,000 premium founding member tier. This tier is really designed for people who actually do want to come join the club, because in addition to every single other perk, you also get 50 free lessons, and those lessons never expire, which is important because regular lessons do degrade over time and go away. But these ones, you can buy them and like come move to LA in 2 years and be like, yo, I backed this tier. I want to cash in my 50 lessons. Done. Normally, a 20 lesson pack is a $750 value. So a 50 lesson pack is more than $1,500 in value. So this is a pretty sick tier, a pretty sweet deal. And just for anybody out there who's used to backing a lot of Comicsgate projects, who are scratching their heads as to the price versus the merchandise, just like to remind you guys, this is not a merchandising campaign. This is actually a fundraising campaign. Most of your dollars are going to go towards a floor, fencing strips, fencing equipment, signage, painting the walls, putting up walls, putting in furniture for people to sit on, a desk in the office, marketing, advertising, all of those things. So, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is why. That's why. That's that. And as I also mentioned too, anything this campaign makes is amazing, is wonderful, and will help get us there. Right now, all we need to get started to actually get off the ground is enough. Actually, that's not a bad idea, Henry Wolf. Get Adrian Paul. I already have a connection with Adrian Paul from a while ago. That's not a terrible idea. I don't know if I can get him as a celebrity for the thing, but I might be able to get him to do a sword experience at my club at some point. For those who don't know, Adrian Paul, who was the Highlander in the TV show, he does these things called the sword experience, where he runs like this all-day event where he teaches you how to do a sword fight from a movie, like a famous movie or show or something. So that's those are people you might see in the club. Who knows? He offers classes right now. Interesting, Henry Wolf. I will look into that actually then, because celebrities, they're fun. They're great. Anywho, so yeah, stretch goals. So any amount that we get is great, because literally the only thing we need to get open and get started, get off the ground. We have everything else we need. We just need to be able to put in a floor, make it enough that we can get in there. And as long as it's there, no matter how ugly it is, we can open our doors and start bringing in, our students and stuff. But if we get to $50,000, we will be able to have a nice floor from the get-go that will take care of our students' joints. We'll be able to invest in some equipment to make sure that all of our beginners will be able to rent equipment or to use equipment that we already have provided for them and not have to buy their own right out the door. And if we get all the way to 100,000, we will be able to put a lot into marketing to be able to cover our first couple of months, few months of rent, and put all of that revenue back into the club, really get it decorated nicely, get it done state of the art, set up competition strips, and really be on our way to being able to host tournaments in our first few months, which is another great way that a club can help boost its revenue and help keep itself afloat. So the more we can start out with, the more we can get going with, we can get off the ground with, the greater chance we have of starting with success. If we can start with that success and momentum, we can keep it going, keep building it, and have a wildly successful club for all of time. So there's that. All right. And I know Anna has to get going. So Anna, I'm going to give you the floor. Anything you want to say, ask, comment on before you have to take off?
Well, sorry I have to go, but I'm going through the things. The only thing I can think of is, have you thought about doing anything with Richard Chu?
I haven't talked to him, but I'm certainly going to send him. I planned on sending him this link, and kind of leaving it up to him if he wants to get involved, I guess.
Gotcha.
But certainly, yeah. If you have any ideas thank you. So thanks so much, Anna. You also are you helped me so much. Just all the advice you gave Jeff filling his campaign. I learned so much about how to do an Indiegogo, everything, talking about yours and what you were doing with that, and just you doing it and other people in my life going ahead and doing their projects has helped me work up the gumption, be okay, I'm going to go do mine. And it's given me the sort of the past couple of weeks have been really a slog to get to here, and your campaign launching actually was a big boost for me to go, all right, Anna did it. Look how great that's going. I know she was scared too, but she did it, and goddamn, so I can do it too. So thanks, Anna.
I know my lazy ass finally did something, but
right. And now my lazy ass is following suit. So
well, see, that's the thing. It's you're not lazy. You have practice before this show every week, and so half the time you're I gotta take a shower. I'm yeah, go do that. I get it. You were just fencing with that little girl that you fence with.
Yep. Brilliant.
So it's kind of cool because you're doing something that people can actually, it's a physical place that you're going to have that people can go to and take lessons from you. And you've traveled the world as a fencing coach. You should, I would add pictures of you there, because I've seen pictures of you fencing or as a coach or as a ref at fencing tournaments. So I would add that stuff in as well.
Thanks. I should definitely.
That because I think personally for me that's cool to see, because it's like if you're not in the fencing world, you don't really know too much about it. And so like just seeing it, it's like, oh wow, this is a real thing. Like, because I would have never known, because this is not something that I do. Kind of like how the art world, you don't really know too much about it. Even the Star Wars world, when you talk to normies, they're like, what? That's going on? It's like, yeah. Do you have like 10 hours for me to sit you down and tell you all about it?
That's how I always feel about fencing. That's also why I'm really excited actually to have Milestone Fencing Studio, the YouTube channel. So I have a dedicated platform where I can go on for hours and hours at a time about fencing. So if you guys have ever been curious, you'll get your fill. And Anna, is anything else you want to tell the good people of the Tube of Yous before we before you have to get going?
Go back Jesse's project. Go back it twice. Go back it often. And one thing that people don't really know about Indiegogo is even if you might necessarily like, oh well, I might not ever be there, but I still want to back Jesse. There's a tier where you can just donate.
Yep.
So there are those tiers. There are tiers just like that. So if Jesse decides, like Jesse usually does, to do a drinking game, if you ever need to get her to a certain tier or a certain number, there's that little donation box that is there for that. Just a wink word to everyone in the chat. But I do have to go. I get to go sit in traffic for an hour, so I would much rather be here hanging out. But yay.
Wish we could keep
God, I'm sorry you have to go through that. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. I'd
going
hate that.
Anywhere.
Good luck.
Going anywhere.
I know. I'm like, aren't you all fuckers scared of COVID? Go back home. Get off the damn road.
It's
for real.
Dude, there were still too many people on the road when it was raining on Monday. It was unacceptable.
Yeah, I do have to go now, or else I am going to be late. But I was nice talking to everyone. Nice meeting you on stream for the first time, Sweet Pea.
Nice to meet you too,
I'll see you
Anna.
all later.
Really. All right, bye.
We'll
Be
see.
safe, okay?
So I do want to show you guys this why fencing video, but I do want to hit a couple of super chats, and I do want to do a quick refresh up top and see. So a couple of my friends backed right after I went live with it, which was really awesome and sweet of them. So let's see if anyone else has been able to back. Oh my God!
I have 7 new backers! Yay!
$465. Holy shit, guys. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you guys. Somebody else got all the swag. I just want to see what people are interested in. Ooh, someone got a button. Someone got the t-shirt. Nice. And obviously nobody got those ones yet, or we would know. We might know.
I just have to say that I absolutely love your photos of you in your fencing gear.
Yeah.
It's so professional, and there's something super majestic about it, and I'm totally like for it. Totally for it. I want to go check my mail real quick to see if my bank card got here, because I want to back this really badly.
Oh thank you. And guys, this campaign is going to run until the day after Christmas. So if a photograph actor Isaac C. Singleton Jr. is something you want for Christmas, ask for it. It's totally you should. It's just what you should do. Let me hit those super chats. Runs with Phantoms. Thank you. He says Ale, and it's a fencer. He also sent a super sticker before that. It was a hot dog. Yum. Annie McCallum, thank you for the super sticker. He sends a Shiba Inu. Inu doing the number 1. Thank you for the little puppy. Thank you so much, Andy. You're the best. Thank you, Rookie Critic, for the super chat. It's about time. Glad you're doing this. Hey-ya. Thank you, Rookie Critic. Also, guys, it's on my Twitter, and I'll make sure I share it on the Tube of Views and everywhere else. But I am in a short for why am I blanking? Let me just go to my Twitter and show you guys real quick. Here we go. Okay. Yes. All right. So it's fanzine. So fanzine, that's like fanzine, but with a Z instead of an S. And it's at FZ Scene on the Twitter sphere if you want to check them out. But they're dropping in a horror anthology tomorrow, which awesome. Independent creation. I have a small role in one of the shorts, so definitely check it out. The Rookie Critic is the Rookie Critic stars in that short, so
that's so
make sure you guys check it
cool.
out.
Just in time for Halloween. Nice.
Exactly. So
You know how I
check
feel
out
about horror.
that.
I love that.
It's awesome. Mary,
Rookies-
so proud to have just backed this campaign. Thank
Dude,
you,
I had to
Mary.
back it because look, sometimes you gotta like put up or shut up, right? And so when you're looking at your friends and you see them doing something and they're projecting their effort and their energy into something worthwhile and good, like you need to support that, right? You need to like take a hard look at where it is that you're putting, like it's actually a really great like way to sort of center your own self. Like, where am I putting my energy? What am I doing with my dang self? Am I trying and putting my efforts where they should be placed and focused? And so it's actually a really positive, healthy thing I think you're putting out into the world. And so I want to support that in whatever way possible. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. So I'm not sitting here telling you to support Jessie and not doing it my damn self. I'm telling you support her because I believe in it and I did it my damn self. So get your butts over there and go donate to this GoFundMe or Indiegogo.
Thank you, man. Same, Dev. Give me all your monies. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really do.
Give her all the money that you have and more. Give her your house. Give her
your
car.
kittens.
Actually, give me your firstborn. Give me your firstborn child. I'll teach them how to fence and probably turn them into a world champion.
I'll give them back when I'm done. Here you go.
This
is a better human than he was when you gave him to me.
Right? If you give me your children, you will not be disappointed. I can say that with confidence. If they're under 6, I want nothing to do with them. I don't understand even what humans are for at that age.
Motor functions.
But once girls at 6 and boys at like 8, once I trust to give them a sword and press upon them that it's a weapon, then at that point, yes, that's fine. All right. Another Matchy, thank you for the super sticker. It is a happy face with the $ eyes, because that would be nice. That would be nice. $ signs would be nice. It's definitely easier to ask people for money when it's not like, hey, give me your money so I can, even a lot of my like creative art and stuff like that. Give me your money to do my art project. I'm like, okay, it feels like in some ways more selfish. This feels very like, no, this is going to be for good things. This is going to be for other people. Oh, thank you so much. I drink therefore I am backed. And now to go grab some cardboardo. That's wine from a cardboard box.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Our patron saint, Mr. Liver Cirrhosis, one of the coolest dudes ever. That for Mr. Liver, that's what we call him.
You can't eat him, Mary. You can't eat him. You don't want him. He's cirrhosis.
Okay, so hold on. Kelly doesn't know what you're talking about. They're making fun of me, Kelly. They're making fun of me because I like to eat chicken livers.
Okay.
Right? I like fried chicken livers with tartar sauce.
Interesting.
See, at least she was diplomatic about it, Jessie.
Okay. Hold on.
I didn't say anything about the chicken liver stuff.
I don't recall you ever mentioning that these were fried chicken livers.
Yeah, fried chicken livers.
That does kind of
change
things. Grilled, broiled, baked. Like, I've never heard of fried chicken liver. But
well,
let me just say that the fried element does make tartar sauce slightly less off-putting.
Okay. But she still gives me hell about the fact that I don't like pancakes.
It's weird.
Because pancakes are gross and you've all joined a cult.
But she eats waffles.
Because waffles are crispy.
Yeah,
and crunchy.
I'm not a fan of pancakes personally either.
Kelly, you want to be best friends? That was the
can't
best.
have her.
Seriously, nothing better could have come out of her mouth right then. Thank God. I've never had backup in the pancake department.
I just find pancakes, they're kind of like the flaccid version. Like, why have a pancake when you can have all the texture and substance and character of a waffle, you know?
Exactly. Or French toast. Or French toast, right? There are 1,000,001 options besides the piece of ready-made jaw glue that is a pancake once you add syrup to it.
I do like potato pancakes though, but that's
I
Oh,
like
potato
them.
pan-
Too. I like those
They're
too,
good.
actually.
You know what?
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
I like Gerald Vance's suggestion.
Chicken. Oh, come on, man. Be serious. We're trying to have a real discussion here, and you're bringing in your
You know what?
half-cocked, half-baked ideas. This is
Tag.
ridiculous.
You know,
Hey,
I
nothing
love
about
French-
Gerald Vance is half baked. Have you met the man? He is very well put together.
Oh.
He is exactly as well put together as his picture would lead you to believe. I'm just
Oh.
saying.
I have nothing but the grandest envisionment of Gerald. Like, I just think he's a total doll.
Dude, it is what he was the coolest too, because it was literally like I've said this many times. It was like the greatest experience where I would say all this stuff to him. He'd be like, oh yeah, like that person, this and that, because he's watched so much of my content that he has the frame of reference for all of it. And he was like, I'm so sorry. Is it weird that I like know these things? I'm like, no, it's actually really refreshing that I don't have to meet somebody new and explain them my fucking life story. We already have like in Chinese, it's guanxi. You already have like a relationship.
You're
You already
already
have
on the
something.
in joke. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're already in on the in
Exactly.
joke.
Fucking great.
You know what?
John
I'm
Thomas,
just gonna
thank
go
you
out-
so much for the super chat. He says here for your fixing studio. Thank
Aw.
you, John Thomas. And Rebels.
No.
Stage
No,
Rebels.
no, 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 no,
Buffalo
no,
Jeff isn't here, but Buffalo Jesse will step in. You eat chicken livers and not sweet, good pancakes, Mary. You disappoint me so much.
Man, this gets the old bean ringing and dinging downstairs. I tell
guys-
you what.
You wonder what's wrong with me. What's wrong with Mary? This is a big chunk of the problem. All right. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay,
This is
Mandy
where
needs
my-
to get here. Mandy needs to get her ass here because she agrees with you, Sweet Pea, that Buffalo Jeff / Buffalo Jesse is actually very, very sexy. So
Yeah.
It's not
Okay,
sexy. It's creepy.
All right, I'm gonna go before the pancake debacle ends. I have to get my 2 cents on this. I fucking love pancakes, and I fucking love waffles, and I fucking love French toast. I love all 3 of those food groups, and I am perfectly content to eat all 3 of them at once if need be. So y'all guys can just sit there in your weird little pancake hating world while I take them from you.
No,
And
you
that's
don't
okay.
have to take them from me. I will contribute to them. I will donate them. I will literally put them into Pancakes for the Needy box and ship them to you. I do not
Please.
want them. I do not
I'll
want
put a
these
big old
things.
fucking sign over my house. Please send Mary's pancakes here to this address
And
at this
you can send me
What can I
your
send?
boxes of Eggo waffles.
I will give you. I'll make you Belgian waffles.
Dude,
I know how to
I
make
used
Belgian
to-
waffles. Do you like
my
Belgian waffles?
breakfast.
Yeah,
My
waffles in
breakfast
general.
used to be an
I'll
Eggo
make you some
waffle
Belgian waffle.
with whipped cream.
Ooh, I'm
Mhm.
hungry.
Eggo waffle, whipped cream
I'm gonna
top.
find something
dude.
to
I argue
Um,
that that's not really breakfast, though. That's just a
I'm-
pastry.
I mean,
just-
pastries can be breakfast. That was the closest thing to a breakfast pastry that I ever did. So, real question though, because of the season that we are in. Real
Yeah.
question: how y'all feel about candy corn?
I love candy corn.
I used to like it when I was younger, but I can't get into it anymore. I think I just don't feel as good when I eat sugar now. So I have to make sure my sugar is matched with other things, like at least some fat or protein or something other than just pure sugar. I can't eat it anymore.
Because see, that's a diplomatic answer, like of all. She's including all sugars in that, but specifically candy corn.
Jesse's face.
Kelly. No, I'm gonna heckle her here a little bit.
Candy corn to me, I'll eat a couple bites of it and then no more after that. Because after a while, my mouth starts to, it like does a blitzkrieg to my taste buds, and then I can't taste anything but candy corn after that. So I used to really like it, but after a while, I just kind of was like, no, not anymore.
I love to nibble on candy corn.
Ooh.
The little nibbles. You gotta take it in sections. And it is candy corn is manna from the gods. It is this wonderful aromatic mixture of vanillas and caramels and nutmegs all rolled into one granule piece that dissolves on your tongue. I love candy corn.
What is wrong with you? Hold on.
I'm sorry, I can't. Jesse's face, the tension was just rising. It was like it's about to happen.
She started to look violently angry.
Ad for candy corn. They should pay you to sponsor them.
They should, Mary. For real. Put up a little candy corn costume on and say, please sponsor.
I have a passion for candy corn. Calm down, Jesse! Calm down!
Nutmeg and caramel. You know what's in this shit? Sugar, corn syrup, confectioner's glaze, also known as shellac. Yes, those sweet flavors of salt, gelatin, so pig's feet,
Wow.
dextrose,
Pig's feet? Really?
honey,
Yeah. Honey,
artificial
yes.
flavor.
Artificial flavorings can mean anything, Jesse! They can mean anything!
Sesame oil.
They can mean anything, Jesse!
Red 3.
Oh, Lord.
There's vanilla
Yellow
in there.
5. And blue 1.
Red 3 standing by.
Artificial flavorings mean anything, Jesse. It can mean whatever I said, all right? How dare you
Pig's
deny
feet,
my truth?
I'm not over that.
There is more salt than pretend not cinnamon flavors in this bullshit.
Clove sugars.
I don't care
Oh.
what is in it. I care what it tastes like. All
There you
right,
go.
I reject your
Asshole.
reality.
Glued
I reject your
together
reality,
with
and I
wax.
substitute my own. Okay, I'll do what I want.
Ooh.
You're not my boss. You can't tell me what to love.
I put it
Jesse.
in my face hole this year. I tried.
I put a lot of stuff in my face hole, Jesse. I don't love all of it, but I love candy corn.
She's not gonna let
Have you
it go.
ever put this in your face hole, though?
No.
No, I
Ooh.
want to. I want to.
Actually,
You
those
don't,
sounds like
though,
weren't so
because
good.
here's the problem with Fruit Loops gummies. They taste exactly like Fruit Loops,
Yeah.
which you would think is the point.
Yeah.
Now imagine biting into a Fruit Loop and it is the texture of like a sour bright crawler.
I can't stop. I'm still laughing about candy corn.
We broke Sweetie.
You're serving those sugars and caramels or whatever. The way you said it, just a fucking I lost my shit.
It is. It's an aromatic experience. All right. You want to light a candle, light
I
yourself.
want to light a candle
an
and
apple
burn it all, melt
light?
it into wax, and make a
No.
candy corn candle
No.
that I send
No.
to my worst enemy
Don't
so they
you-
can
look.
suffer the burning
Hear this?
sense of
Oh
artificial
my
blue
Hear
wax.
this? Jesse would deny
Burning
me my
sesame oil.
happiness. I don't demand that you eat candy corn, but you would deny me my
I'm gonna
joyous
Burn the
experience of
sesame oil and
the
pig's feet.
the
You're a
apple
monster, Mary.
apple
Look.
pie candle burning, right? A nice glass of cider sitting next to me, and the pure essence of joy that is just nibbling on a little piece of candy corn. You would deny me that?
Yeah. Yeah, I would naturally because you're a
Oh my
monster. I can't.
I
find
just
it.
want to sit there, just
Mary,
nibbling on it.
I'm all about the phrase "Don't yuck my yum." I'm all about that. I'm all about if people want to even like The Last Jedi, as long as they don't want to fucking tell me about it, they can like whatever the fuck they want to like. I'm all about that. But if someone wants to come into my house and be like, "Oh yeah, little boys, yum," I'm like, "Get the fuck out! You're a monster."
What the hell? That kind of hyperbolic comparison will not stand.
Whoa.
Right? This is the kind of bullshit I'm talking about. This
Just
is
saying.
oppression.
Just
This
saying,
is
you
the
know.
oppression of my people that I
Just saying
cannot
that
stand for.
Shepherd Book believes in a special hell reserved for child molesters and people who talk at the theater. I think personally that people who enjoy candy corn should be included in special hell. That's all I'm saying.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
Shepherd Book
This is why we
special
can't
hell
have a
needs
reasonable
to
conversation.
include candy
This
corn.
is why.
I
This
think-
is why.
I think we can all sit here and agree that candy corn and pancakes are taboo topics. now.
No, pancakes belong in the seventh
There are
circle
no
of hell.
taboo. There is
Literally,
no taboo.
Satan is sitting right now on a throne of brimstone and fire, munching on pancakes, going, "My diabolical work is complete. I have brainwashed an entire planet full of yahoos,
Yeah, but
all
Mary-
to think that
Mary,
pancakes
Mary, come on.
are good." do.
At the end of the day, Satan, God, who's sexier? Come on.
God made sexy. Satan just appropriated it.
I'm pretty sure sexy was a Satan idea. Pretty sure Satan was a sexy idea. Sexy was a Satan idea. I don't really see a value for sexy in the God side of things, because in the God side of things, getting together is all about just love and reproduction and shit. So there's no need to be sexy to lure people in. That's just very satanic. Satan definitely invented sexy.
Well, I do
Jesus
find Mark
is crying
Pellegrino
right
to be
now.
utterly irresistible.
just
Utterly irresistible as Lucifer. I'm not gonna lie, that does something to me.
All right.
I never thought it would, but it did. Ooh.
Kelly,
Greg
you said
Kirby,
God or
I
Satan.
would like. Can we highlight Greg Kirby's chat right there? The very last one at the bottom, right there.
Okay.
Can you just highlight it for 1 second?
Get it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it got quiet.
I was like, oh, Greg, you've done it now. You're in for it.
I'm gonna go outside and smoke a
That's
cigarette
right.
real
He
quick.
hit that nail right on the head.
You're in good company, Mary. You're in good company. I read a Mad Lib story last night in which I professed to be a quiet person. It was a lie. Kelly, who's sexier, God or Satan? Tell us.
Well, I like your take on it, Jesse. I don't know. I've never really given that a lot of thought, but when you're talking about the element of sexy, I guess that, yeah, it doesn't really seem very godlike to have sexiness or seduction or sultriness or anything. It seems more something alongside the satanic realm. So I don't know.
3-1, Mary.
I think.
Satan's
No,
sexy.
hold on. I would like to pitch.
You'd like to
something
rebut?
to you. I'd like to pitch something to you here. Okay. Yes, I'd like a rebuttal if you don't mind.
Sure.
So, Kelly, you're in a happy relationship, right? You understand it like a sustained, long-term, beautiful relationship. What's more sexy than someone who knows you, understands you, gets you, and is intimate with you in a way that you are not willing to be vulnerable with other people?
Okay,
What's more sexy than
Mary,
that?
you are such a your nesting instincts are showing now. You're so domesticated.
Am I
precious.
pecking at the straw in the bottom of my nest a little too much?
Just
Scratching it up.
Sexier than sure. Look. There is nothing I like better than
Nothing
nakedly
sexier.
curling up with my man and watching him hum happy birthday to himself while squirting cake icing on his. This was like my greatest memory ever of all time. We just had like the best birthday ever, and I got Jeff this cake icing, decorate his cake, and there was a point where he's like, "I'm gonna squirt icing into my face because it's my birthday." I'm like, "Do it!" And so there's Jeff, cake icing, tongue going.
All of this within the confines of a happy, long-term, committed relationship.
Now let me just tell you, man.
Bam!
That was
Point
one of the
Mary,
happiest days-
I win.
That was one of the happiest days of my year. There was nothing fucking sexy about it.
Okay, but
We
there
had
is
sex,
nothing
but it was-
sexier than Wesley rolling down a hill screaming, "As you wish."
Yeah, but Wesley is a pirate. Wesley is the
Wesley
pirate Roberts.
is
He
in
is
a
not
happy-
godly. He
That
definitely
didn't say it
represents.
was-
He's a scoundrel.
But it's in a close, monogamous, happy,
He's
committed
murdered a lot of people.
relationship. You
Mary,
don't know
Wesley
that.
has
You
murdered.
can't prove shit.
He was the dread
don't-
pirate Roberts.
Oh,
If they start leaving survivors,
first
if
of
they
all,
started leaving survivors, his reputation would have gone. That's the subtext of that movie. You don't fucking think about. Wesley is a murderous badass.
but he
Wesley
is
fucking
also
murders people.
also
But he's
deeply
sexy because he's
in
monogamous.
love with her, and
Yes.
they're tight knit. Like that's nothing
But then look at it from the other
satanic
side,
about
Mary.
their
Then
relationship.
look at it from the other side, right?
And Wesley was hot before he became a murderer. I
Yes.
would argue that to the death.
Yes, but it was his inner scoundrelness that made him sexy, not his fucking devotion to Buttercup. Because Buttercup's only defining characteristic is her love of Wesley. She's not interesting in any other way. And that absolute pathetic devotion to Wesley does not make her sexy. It actually makes her really fucking annoying, except for that one fucking speech she has to Humperdinck. And the rest of the time, she's pretty much just goddamn useless.
Humperdinck, it always makes me laugh. You want me
Sweet
to
pea-
ride your Humperdinck? Yes,
I
ma'am.
love this conversation. This is fascinating.
This
Because
is
I love
fucking
duality.
hilarious.
Sweet Pea, I
Yes.
really want you to get drunk one day because you would just be that person at the party who would literally just sit there giggling the whole time. And just like, we'd all be like, we'd think you were laughing at what we were saying. And then you would just shout a word from something from 10 minutes ago. And we'd all be like,
Yes,
that's the best.
I'm still laughing about the candy corn incident. I was like, turn my mic off. Oh gosh, no. There's two. I have only ever been drunk once in my life. And I tell you now, it was not a fun experience. I got very emotional. I shit myself. And I
what
never
the
want to
fuck?
fucking do it again. No.
Oh,
That alcohol, what they gave me, it was like some Patron with
like
a
a
worm
diuretic.
in it. The diuretic.
That was
and
an
mine-
alcohol,
mezcal.
sweetie.
That's
You were
mezcal.
poisoned.
You got
I
mezcal.
probably fucking was.
That wasn't alcohol. Someone poisoned you.
No. If it had a worm, it's mezcal. All right.
Oh,
That's what that is. Mezcal. It's like tequila, but it's not from the agave region, and it's usually has a lot of mezcals are made with a smoky flavor. And but yeah, the traditional mezcal has the little worm at the bottom of the bottle, and you're supposed to drink to the end, and then the person who gets it is supposed to eat the worm.
All right.
I was in Poltergeist too. There's a scene where he drank the worm.
Oh God, I know what you're talking about, Kelly. I was just like,
so
I learned something today that Kelly watches scary movies.
I love scary movies.
She loves.
I can't do it, Kelly. Kelly, I was banking off of you being like me and being the one hiding in the corner when the scary movies was.
Mary, I love scary movies, but I'm very particular. I like when they have a strong emotional core, and I like when they have heart and like an actual purpose. I don't like, someone used the term the other day, nihilistic scary movies. I'm not a fan. I love good practical effects. I love a good gothic ghost story, which has a lot of romance in it, Mary, that I'm sure you could appreciate.
Hence Bly Manor that came out.
Bly Manor, Haunting of Hill House, like anything that's kind of a vehicle for the human condition, human emotion. I like that kind of stuff. I don't like like crazy, like nihilistic, dark, just like
it's more thematic horror,
like
right?
slasher.
Yeah, I'm not. I like some slashers, like I really do. I like Scream. I like a few things, like Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
you just painted a picture for me, Kelly. Like I think you just effectively did what I tried to do for Candy Corn. But you like actually what you did worked, because I kind of want to watch a scary movie now.
I can give you some hints if you want, Mary, because like there are good ones out there that are moving and that actually have like a message to them that's beautiful within the genre. So they're really cool, and cool because it's a great genre because you can't always explore like such dark themes of the human experience in a drama like horror, because it's kind of fantastical. It can get you to a human dynamic, like a changed character a little bit more quickly than something like a drama can. So
I liked Amityville Horror. That was good. And I think it hit the, like what you were, like all the beats you were just talking about is like that sort of human element of like connecting. And turns out it felt very godly, Jesse. That kind of love. And it's very sexy. There's nothing sexier than Ryan Reynolds with a beard protecting his family from the ghost underneath the boards. It's really sexy.
I don't know. Once that shit gets too pious, it loses its sex appeal for me.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, Kelly. You watched Midnight Mass, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Freaking Father Pruitt.
Oh
my gosh, turned on by him. I'm not gonna lie.
He was such a good actor too. Like, oh my gosh, he was amazing.
The show. And I felt like it was crazy because I felt like everyone else who had like those long monologues felt more preachy than the preacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. He was so good. And I looked the actor up later, and he has his roots in theater. Like his father was a professor of theater, and you can just tell he reads like that really good theatrical training. And he's so reserved in most of his performances. So when he has those explosive moments, it's so powerful.
Right. And he really did good. I was surprised because whenever I see Men of the Cloth, you know, a religious figure of a leader betrayed in any movie, it's always a very one-sided picture of them, like they're all pedos or something like that, or there's something sinister lurking behind their intentions always. But he genuinely just seemed like what he thought he was doing was right.
Yes.
And he admitted it, I'm not gonna, but he came to a revelation, and I like that. And it's like I thought he was a very well-rounded, really well done character, and he did sound like a priest that or at least a preacher, because I grew up in the Protestant community, like the Bible Belt down here in Texas. You know, you have Pentecostal, Baptist, non-denominational, all those other ones, but there are some that he really did sound like 1 second, I'm sorry.
You good? I'll read the super chat real quick. The drink there for him. Thank you so much. Alcohol, because no good story ever started with there I was eating pancakes. So true. That is true. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to have some people on my side in the chat. And look, like, can I get some ones in the chat for if you agree with me that candy corn is great?
Hey, first of all, whoa, that's a fucking leap, and I will not have you besmirch my special counsel like that. I drink there for him as my consigliere, as well as the patron saint of the mindless mob. So I will not have you.
Oh, you got
Gerald
because
agrees
what
with
he
me.
said was
That put together man in the chat agrees with me.
all you can extrapolate from what was said. All you can extrapolate is that liver cirrhosis likes alcohol better than pancakes, which is a very reasonable perspective. You cannot, I don't know how you extrapolated him liking alcohol better than pancakes and him being on your side as fucking candy.
I reject your reality and I substitute my own. That's how I got there. I don't need your logic, Jesse. Okay, I refuse that mess you got going, to that hot mess of logic.
All my logic will fight you.
To finish what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by somebody in my house just barged in and scared the shit out of me. I felt like Father Pruitt felt like a very legitimate man of the cloth. Like it just seemed like he carried that so well, and I was impressed. Mike Flanagan definitely knew what he was talking about. He had the freaking he knew what he was talking about because he'd been an altar boy, I believe, is what he.
Yeah. He wrote a note about the series, and he mentioned that he came from those roots. So he definitely had that truth to it, which I really liked. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Nice. So guys, while we've been chatting, I have been, so we can avoid all the stops and starts from before, I have been loading that Why Fencing video, Milestone Fencing Studios' first YouTube video, with a little bit more information about the sport of fencing.
You have 9 backers now.
Yay! In case you guys, whatchamacallit, didn't get a chance to watch or whatever. And if you have any more questions regarding La Fencing Club, and for anyone new swinging here, by the way, please press the like button if you have not gotten a chance to do so. And then, so here we go. Hi, my name is Jesse Milestone. Make it larger. And before I show you why fencing is the greatest sport you can choose no matter what age you are, we should probably all be clear on what fencing is. This is fencing.
No!
But so is this. The same elements that make those fights so exciting. Flashy moves, the last-minute saves, the heart-pounding victories. These can all be found whenever 2 people suit up to fence. In those movies, The Princess Bride, Gladiator, Star Wars, those are the movies that inspired me to start fencing and continue to inspire me. Fencing offers the unique rewards and challenges that come with individual sports. Now, not everyone is predisposed for an individual sport. It requires a great deal of self-discipline and independence. But fencing can also help you develop those traits. Whether you're young, an adult looking for a new pastime, or over 50 and still have dreams of becoming a world champion. Yeah, we have veteran world champions for age groups starting in 50s and going to 80s and above. But for our younger competitors, fencing offers one of the most valuable life experiences. It offers you the chance to work your hardest, to train every day, to give 110%, and still fail miserably. And then to learn how to deal with that defeat, that crushing defeat that belongs to you and you alone. And get back out there and eventually overcome any obstacle that's in your path. Fencing is more suited to personal development than any other sport because no other sport challenges your brain and your body at the same time to the same extent. I mean, you can take a fencer that, lacks physical prowess, but can puzzle their way through their opponent's strategy, and they can have the same amount of success as a more naturally gifted athlete who is technically precise, but ends up a few fries short of a Happy Meal. And there's equal room for both of these types of fencers in my sport. Rude. But even as I sing the praises of fencing as an individual sport, the club culture offers not just a team, but a family, an opportunity for people to come together of all ages and all backgrounds. When I was a teenager, I had a group of friends, a bunch of 20-something-year-olds. They were the first group of adults that treated me like I was one of them and not just another kid. In return, I got so much perspective from their life experiences that really made me feel my most difficult. I also had a friend who was several years my junior, and over time I kind of started to look at her like a little sister. Now, a couple of years ago, I was the maid of honor at her wedding. So it's no surprise why I think fencing is the greatest sport. And it's given me character development, physical fitness, a job, a career, travel opportunities, lifelong friends. It offered me all of this because of everything I put into it. With the same dedication, it can take you to the NCAAs, take you to a world championship, even take you to the Olympics. You don't have to be the fastest or the strongest or the smartest. You don't have to be born an athlete or possess any special talent. But if you want it the most and you're willing to train the hardest to get it, then you can be the one, sweat dripping down your mask, extending your blade into your opponent and screaming for your sweet, sweet victory.
You look great in that video, by the way.
Yeah.
And she was playing her original song, Journey. I love it.
Oh, that was you. I couldn't figure out. I looked in the
I thought it
description.
was.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't put anything in this. I'm actually kind of waiting for someone to be like, asshole for not crediting the music. I'll be like, I'll go apologize to myself for playing that song that I wrote. So yes, Gerald Van Zandt, that was in fact me on the guitar. Runs of Fandom says, you showed my most personally intense part of Return of the Jedi in your Y fencing video, Luke versus Vader behind the stairs, Jedi's Fury, OST in the background. Yes. Yeah,
I love
that.
Oh.
I do too. That music, that part. Oh God.
Oh my God. I have chills just thinking about it now. And when you played it, it's just like so freaking beautiful. Oh, and heartbreaking.
I fucking love it. That moment to me is that's the moment where Luke gives into the dark side the most.
Yeah.
By the way, Mary, also coincidentally, the moment where I find Luke to be the sexiest. So I find it generally whiny and annoying through most of these movies. And then when he fucking goes ham for that minute there on Vader, like, I will murder you. I'm like, oh, God damn. And then I'm like, okay,
You know what I find
Luke?
Luke?
The dark side. Like,
You know when I find Luke the sexiest?
when he throws the lightsaber away and goes, I'll never turn to the dark side.
No, I was gonna
when he's
say
like, my sister has
it's,
it.
it's the part. It's the part where he goes, I can turn him back to the good side. That's where I find Luke Skywalker the sexiest.
Oh, Luke.
You're just hoping.
I love both.
Why can't we just like them both?
Duality. It's duality. That's the duality of existence. Right? We have we have to have the good and the bad and the dark and the light. We need it all, or else there's no context.
No, there's never any context.
So
like,
we're up to 9 backers now, over $500 now. Thank you guys so much. This is so exciting. So exciting. As that is, we're on our way to having a club. So this is going to be up here for obviously 2 months, etc. Mary, since I know we're going to talk about to that time where you're going to have to skedoodle. So is there any other fencing things you wanted to ask about or know about or think about?
I mean, so I'm completely ignorant when it comes to fencing personally. I couldn't begin to try to traverse the landscape of that dialogue. Like I would look like a complete idiot. So I'm mostly just going to leave everyone with the most heartfelt encouragement to think not of Jessie's severe lack of taste when it comes to candy corn, or her clear lack of values when it comes to what is and is not sexy. Judge her not by her pancakes and waffles, but by how well she can stab a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? Go back, Jessie Milestone, for her fencing studio. I want to see this just grow and develop into this fulfilled dream that she has, and you can help her and you can get her there. And so I really want to, I can't wait to see where this goes and how this ends up. And I'm so excited for you.
Well, thank you. And thanks for being here, Mary. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course. Absolutely. Anytime. Except, of course, after you've insulted candy corn.
Candy corn is like a dick. It is disgusting and horrifying. There are so many things in it that like shouldn't even be food. Like what place does sesame oil have in candy?
True.
I am more of a street baller, SJW Jessie. I am far more of a street baller. I have no problem punching the shit out of somebody.
I absolutely had a blast with Mary here. I think that it was so funny. Y'all talking about candy corn and pancakes made me fucking laugh my ass off. And that was
maybe Outlaw
pretty
will
much
never be the same.
Never be the same. I had no idea that there was a hatred for pancakes. I knew about the candy corn one, but the pancake thing was new to me. That's fine. Also, if Mandy had been here on time, or Mandy had been not on time, but if Mandy had been here with us, Mary, me, because my name is Montana, and then Mandy, all the girls with the names that begin with M would be country girls.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Weird.
It's true. I missed Mandy. I'm so sad I didn't get to hang out with her. I hope she's okay. I'm sure she's okay. I'm sure she's fine. But yeah,
she probably just got distracted staring lovingly into her possum's eyes.
I had
so cool.
I played a wonderful, I don't know if you're familiar with the joke or not. It's not a joke. It happened. This is a thing. She had frogs copulating in her garage on a regular basis. They were always screaming and making noises. Like,
oh my God, was Ethan in all of her chats?
So the frogs eventually got to the point where like they would take over the garage. So I don't think it had anything specifically to do with Uncle Ethan per se. So much as just like the frogs. Yeah, I mean, like it was clearly.
Did Ethan show up to hear that? Did Ethan show up for everyone?
Not that I know of, but I do feel confident that he sent those hellspawn to interrupt her streams for fear of her ability to take over Comicsgate solely by herself. She's clearly unmatched in power. Someone has to stop her.
How do you know Ethan wasn't just sending his frog buddies to, as like helpers? Like, here, congratulations.
And it was a complete distraction.
Maybe they were supposed to be helping her with fulfillment or something. And
I'll tell you what it did do. It created a meme. So the frogs' names, all of them now, they all have one name. It's YOLO. The reason it's YOLO, she went and picked one up and she had it like sitting on her finger, right? Yeah. And it was just sitting there. We were like, oh, I love frog. And then it just like flies off into the abyss. It just jumps off into nothing. And I was like, YOLO! And so they're all named YOLO now. So
if you put a little cowboy hat on top of the frog, can it be Cowboy YOLO?
Well, I mean, they're all just variations of YOLO. It was a frog orgy in her honor. She had to watch it. They made her watch it. So I'm gonna cut some clips of some frogs screaming "F me" for her.
Good, excellent.
You gotta please include Alex Jones in that that clip.
I don't like to put chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
that fucking highlight of his career, man.
I don't consider Alex Jones to be good for too much, but that right there,
did you ever
positively impacted my life?
There was something too. There was like something of like, if you watch through that, like the level of ridiculousness of Alex Jones, where it's like, if you just watch the "They're Turning the Frogs Gay" clip, he sounds insane. But then if you watch, I guess, the full clip of the thing he's talking about, you're like, okay, I can see where he gets that from. It sounds a little less psychotic. But then if you watch then the full episode that clip was taken from, he's also like entertaining conspiracy theories about the most batshit, like Gary Busey level things. So
this is why I'm convinced he doesn't mean any of it. He doesn't mean any of it. I'm convinced he doesn't mean a word of it.
It's just funny though, because he's clearly just a person who it's like he took his own joke too far and now he doesn't have anything but that. Like you can almost see him trying to riff on himself now, like trying to be meta like on himself now. It's like you got the platform literally everywhere. The only time you can get people to even bring you on their platforms is when you're like in the news for losing a fucking lawsuit,
like low-key
a giant piece of shit.
Do y'all,
like,
do y'all
dude.
remember? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
So I just think it's funny. It's just like, it's a really funny trajectory to watch, like, somebody create their own world and then now
Yeah.
have to live in
Have
the
to live
prison
in
they
it.
created
Yeah.
themselves, you know?
And I don't assume, I want to be clear here because before anybody like gets their panties in a bunch in the chat, I don't hate Alex Jones. I don't assume ill intent on his part. I really don't. I just think exactly what Jesse just said. I think he created a world that he now lives in, and it's hard for him to like extract himself from that and get outside perspective.
I do dislike him though, because I do very much dislike him though, because he represents something which I think is very dangerous to our society. He represents people who take zero accountability for their for the misinformation that they willfully spread. It's people who choose, and you can see lots of examples of that on all different levels and sizes, from very wealthy and influential people to just people in your own life, people who will willfully embrace misinformation for their own gain. And those types of people, I really don't have any respect for because of the long-term damage they do to society and have done to society. We, as a people, went too far with acceptance, before the SJW movement happened and all that shit, went too far with acceptance of stupid people, with acceptance of far out ideas. Oh, well, it's okay. They can have their little conspiracy nut show on the internet because no one's watching, nobody cares. And that was the prevailing ideology until things like YouTube and other social media platforms allowed for these little nutso shows that nobody watched, nobody cared about, to now get audiences of millions and millions of viewers. And the people peddling it peddled the things they always peddled and that thought they just, okay, whatever. I'm selling misinformation. People obviously know it's false. But they know deep down is once you start spreading it to a certain level of audience, you are losing the thread of information. You are losing the ability to convey the lack of seriousness, the satire in your work, and you actually are contributing to the mass spread of misinformation. And then people just go, "Oh, that's not my problem. Whatever. I know it's fake. So how come they don't?" And it's just sort of this willful ignorance that creates more willful ignorance, and that's why I don't like Alex Jones.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with anything that you just said. But hold on, before I leave, let me just hear me out on this Alex Jones thing. Okay. I don't think he's benign. I just think that there's a difference between not being benign and meaning ill and like having ill intent, right? And so I don't ascribe to him ill intent because I don't know him. And so I can see a world in which it exists. This is why I refrain from making judgment on his personal, I don't even want to say personal character, but at least in terms of his intent. I don't make a judgment on that because there's a world in which I lose touch with reality to that degree. There's a world there. In fact, they're not just a world. It's happened to me where I get in my own head about something and that's where I'm at. And I lose perspective to the point where even though I don't mean harm to anyone around me, that doesn't mean that I didn't convey harm to some extent, right? Like what he said about those children from Sandy Hook was deplorable and awful and ridiculous and caused real pain. And obviously I do think that they had every right to sue him because of the slander that it invoked. And so there are laws for that. And I think that that's reasonable to a certain extent. While I also still hold true to the fact that at the end of the day, words are words. So it depends on whether or not it was a call to action. And there's some debate for that there, right? And so for me, I just prefer
Slander does
to
not
sort
require
of
call
laugh
to
at him.
action. Slander does not require call to action to be illegal. Slander is slander. If you are spreading misinformation about people, and that was the whole crux of it. He was creating a narrative that the victims or whatever were plants, weren't real, or whatever, and that was provably false. And clearly, by the result of the lawsuit, was proven false in a court of law. And so you don't have to.
Well, they didn't really go to court though, did they? Didn't they like basically just say no because he didn't show up and he didn't do what he was supposed to do to comply with all the judge's orders?
Oh, maybe it was that. I don't remember the essentially though, if you can in any way, thing is with slander and libel, actually slander especially too, and I believe, for him, because it's all recorded and taped, it's easy to prove that he did say it and stuff, but it is very difficult to win a slander lawsuit against somebody. To be determined that he owes money for slandering somebody, if that wasn't in fact what happened, I'm not going to say for sure because I didn't read the details. But then it's essentially, if he didn't show up in court, the thing is, if he had any evidence to prove that he was not lying, he would have shown up in court and it would have gone by.
My only point was, and again, I don't necessarily disagree with everything that you're saying. I just personally hesitate to slap the label of piece of shit on someone, at least in terms of their internal perspective, because I recognize that in terms of our own humanity, right? How easy it is to get caught up in your own world and lose that perspective. And I would deserve that label. I would deserve that label myself in so many situations throughout the course of my life where I didn't see what I was doing or how I was doing it or how I harmed someone. That doesn't mean I didn't regret it later when perspective was granted, right? Like obviously, like when you get that perspective, you need to own that and do something about it. And I don't think he's done that, but I also don't know that he's gotten that perspective. I don't know what it looks like inside of his mind for him right now. I don't know. And so I don't hate him. I'm not going to sit here. He's a joke to me. It is funny to me. He's ridiculous to me. I will laugh at the silly stuff that comes out of his mouth in terms of conspiracy theories, but I would prefer to extend to him the grace that I would hope others could extend to me when I fuck right the hell up.
Mary, I think you have more tolerance for ignorance than I do. Because I don't think they're comparable situations. Instances in which you have been blind to the effects of your actions and
I've hurt people. Jesse, I have willfully harmed people for lack of this bit of information or that bit of information.
Mary, you don't have the capacity to harm people on the extent and to the level with Alex Jones. The thing is, you don't have that reach. You don't have that ability to
maybe not in the same scope, but that doesn't mean I have to cause
that's the whole difference though, is if you can cause irreparable, whatever extreme harm to the people in your life by doing bad things, but you also have equal ability to reach those same people to make those amends. That's a huge difference. If you only harm people that you can then make amends to later, it doesn't forgive.
I don't think I could make amends. I don't think I could ever make amends for the harm that I've done to at least one specific woman who I harmed.
Person, I'm talking about somebody who has helped map the thread of society to change us from people who have the foundation of truth to be an actual pillar.
Jesse, I understand that there's a difference in scope, right? But in terms of that, in terms of the error on that one human's part, it's the same thread, right? It's the same type of, they're just a person who made an error, right? And I'm not saying he is just a person who made an error. I'm saying I don't know, but I do know that it's possible that it's comparable. And so because I don't know, and I can't know because I can't read his minds and I can't read his thoughts.
I'm not disagreeing with any of those pieces, Mary. I'm just saying that does not matter to me. The ignorance, him being ignorant of the error that he is, him being in ignorance of the error that he has made does not excuse him from that error. And the magnitude of that error is definitely a factor in the culpability, which is why I don't think it's comparable to the things that you're saying, where I do think that the magnitude of the error affects the culpability. If your error has, has damaged the fabric of society to the point where we can no longer rely on the old methods of understanding what is true anymore. That is very different than even no matter how horribly you harmed a person than it being one person. Scope does matter. I know you talk and be very, loving and sincere and say that each individual matters and that it doesn't matter if it's a bunch or a few, but that's also like very theoretical. And in actual reality, it is far worse to damage thousands, millions of people than it is to damage one person. That's just like, it may affect you differently if it's one person versus thousands that you don't. But if we take a step back to be objective, there's an objective difference between doing something horrible and hurting a person in your life irreparably and carrying on for years and years and years, willfully spreading misinformation and not giving a shit about the result, and purposely trying to reach more and more people with it every single day without caring.
We'll have to leave it there, Jesse. We'll have to leave it there. I would love to have this conversation with you on a deeper level when it doesn't impede on other things. But I want to stress to everybody how much I just love Jesse and how much I think you should definitely go back our campaign here. And again, I respect her opinion and her stance on all of this. I'm confident that, not confident, Jesse displays a lack of an amount of critical thinking. Not lack! I didn't mean lack! An amount of critical thinking. An amount of critical thinking that is something to aspire to. So guys, just do your best. Support however you can, and at least, if nothing else, stay tuned to the rest of what I'm sure is going to be a wonderful, wonderful stream. So,
but before you go, Mary, does anybody remember when Alex Jones got caught watching tranny porn?
What? What's wrong with tranny porn? What the hell? Trannies need love too.
Okay, let Mary go. We can talk about this, but let's let Mary go. Otherwise, she's gonna get suckered in and not have time.
Bye, Mary.
Bye,
everybody.
was so good seeing you.
Kelly,
Love
yes,
you.
I'd have to get in touch with you soon, Kelly. I just
Yeah,
love
let me know. Let me know. I'll give you some horror movies you can watch that won't be too scary.
Excellent
Aw.
outro. All right, so what was this about? Tranny porn and Alex Jones?
Well, okay, I briefly saw it. Apparently, somehow Alex Jones screenshotted something, and it was the very tail end of something on like I think like Pornhub or X Hamster, one of those skeevy places, right? And it had like chicks with dicks in the title or something like that. And I think it's a rumor. But it was just the funniest shit. I was like, wow, he stooped to such a new level, hasn't he? But I just wanted to try and make y'all laugh because that got really intense, and all because I fucking said something about Alex Jones.
Oh, dude, Fred, these are like the best kinds of me and Mary
Hi,
discussions.
Mary.
We love those.
Mhm.
Those are our
That was
favorite
fascinating. Oh my
things.
gosh.
Here,
Yeah,
by the
you
way,
guys,
Jeff, I was
fascinating.
reading the nasty ingredients in this nasty bullshit to
That was
shame
cool.
Mary. Nasty people. No, you had given them to me somewhere, and I never utilized them, and I don't remember where that was. Sorry. Jeff is
Oh my
looking for our happy.
No, that was
place.
a very interesting conversation. I sat there and I listened to it. I was like, wow, y'all guys are really talking about some very deep things. And I want to point out something what I believe. Regardless of how many people you've like hurt, right? You know, there's an individual level and there's also the more public level where it sort of like, as Jesse was arguing, shapes the social construction of what we live in as a society in some ways. And but I also think people have a right to change. And I think whenever, but I'm not defending Alex Jones, I'm just saying that when people try to make an active change in their life, I wonder how long accountability for what they did in the past sort of stays with them if they're trying to make amends, but people won't let them move forward is something that gravely concerns me because as a society, I've noticed that there's very little mercy in ways. And I think mercy is incredibly impactful and it is something that's good for the soul. You know, a lot of people say I would never forgive somebody for doing this to me, but truth of the matter is, no matter how much anybody does not like admitting this, forgiveness is really kind of for yourself. Because I know when I've let go of some really very, very strong anger towards some of the people who have done me some real wrong, I realized, you know, it was really only hurting me at the end of the day. And I know that's something that's a real banal statement, but it's true. It's something that's tried and true. But it is something I've noticed with society at large is there seems to be this real lack of allowing people to change. And with Alex Jones doesn't seem to want to change, or either he doesn't want to, or he just can't. And I kind of feel like he would have to, in order for him to truly change, I feel like the man would just have to disappear for years and then maybe come back as a completely new person, because I think the way society views him and the way the public views him is very, there's no in between with Alex Jones. I really believe there is no in between with that man.
Yeah.
But that's just what I think. Mm-hmm.
I just like to take a sec to say hi to Gary N. He says, "Hey, ladies, hail chat, hail Gary N. You are one of the nicest, sweetest, kindest supporters and people that I have met. So I always love. I met him through Kelly because he's been
Gary's cool.
a supporter of her channel. He is really, really great. Just like can't say nicer things about him. Just fantastic. You know, there's some people you just meet and they just bring you good vibes. He's one of them. Just
Absolutely.
Brings you the good vibes. I'm going to switch my camera off for a second because I'm going to do things that are legal in California. So fuck you, YouTube.
Sorry.
Fuck it, YouTube. Haha. I don't care about you. You don't care about me. Whatever. There's like 1,000 weed channels out here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's true.
But still,
you hear
know.
it. It's whistling. Get it, Jesse. Yes.
Yes, girl.
So Jeff has offered me to help promote the Indiegogo to do a Princess Bride drunk watch on his channel at some point.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so much fun.
So We will. That's coming up. That's good. Also, oh my God. So here's the other really fun stuff I want to talk about, because I do want to, like, I know it's like boring and redundant to talk about the club a zillion times, but I'm going to, because
No, it's not. This is a stream about your freaking
Yeah.
fencing club.
Yep.
well, it's very exciting. I have all of these plans and ideas. So, going back to some of that stuff I was talking about before, how did this come about? Why am I starting a fencing club? Why am I even doing this? Well, let me make sure I'm sharing the link in the chat too. So I know it's in the description and everywhere, but here we go. Oh, thank you. Too slow. Baby Outlaw's already got me covered. Thank you so much, Sweet Pea.
You're welcome.
You're the best.
Thank you. I
you're
try.
pretty
Hey, thanks.
It's like, okay, so behind the scenes, guys, I'm very protective of Baby Outlaw, of Sweet Pea, because like I feel I always want to take care of my friends and stuff, and now that she's out in the streaming sphere, and so like she's been getting out there and going on streams and stuff like that. And like before this one, I was like, okay, so I know it's a big one and this and that, and then she mentioned like the shenanigans. I'm like, oh yeah, you've done big streams before. Like I'm sitting here like, make sure that it's not too overwhelming or this. I'm like, you fucking got this. You're a professional already.
Oh, thank you. I was a little nervous when Anna came, mostly because that's just generally because I haven't met her personally, or I didn't stream with her or know her, and that's typically with anybody I've never really met. I'll start to get a little nervous, but over time I'll warm up. I wish she would have been able to stay around longer, because I think I wonder what she would have thought of the crazy conversations about.
Oh my God, she would have been
candy corn.
I wanted to find out her take on pancakes, because Anna's very picky, so she might have got been another anti-pancaker.
Didn't she say she didn't like Thanksgiving food? Did she said that before? I feel like I've heard her say that before.
So Anna, I'm pretty sure, is a legit super taster. And if you can look this up, it's like it's where your taste buds are so sensitive to the point where you taste the individual parts, like basically ingredients of whatever you're eating, essentially.
Right.
And it's very unpleasant, because it's like, if you imagine like a little sprinkle of herb in your food tastes great, but if you have a mouthful of that, it tastes earthy and gross. Well, any small sprinkle of that gets that overwhelming earthy mouthfeel for someone like Anna.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So the reason she likes the stuff she likes really sweet things and really salty things. Sweet and salty are two of your base flavor profiles: sweet, salty, and bitter. And like umami, I think, is the other one. Is like sweet, salty, bitter, and umami are the like 4 flavors that sit on your actual taste buds. And then spicy is just the sensation of pain. So
yes, I agree with that. I don't eat spicy food. Ugh.
Well, so the thing is, because of that, so salty, sweet, and sweet are two of your most powerful ones. Salty, I think, being the first, and sweet, and then pain, the pain feeling when your tongue is very sensitive to that. So if it picks up on that capsaicin really intensely, it'll sort of mask the rest of your taste buds. So Anna likes really spicy foods, really salty foods, and really sweet foods, because all those things blow out her palate and make it so that she doesn't taste all the other nasty little ingredients as effectively.
That's really interesting. It almost reminds me of synesthesia. Do y'all know what that is? It's where you people that taste colors and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like making any sort of derogatory comment about her not eating Thanksgiving food. I just thought that was interesting, and I thought, well, there's another quirk to her. I thought it was adorable, actually.
I love runs with fandoms. I love umami with salt and pain. If without the pain, but umami and salt is a great.
There's a really good seasoning from Trader Joe's. Speaking of Trader Joe's,
mushroom umami.
It's the umami seasoning.
Oh my God, I fucking love that one.
I use it in everything. I put it on everything, unless it's something with a sweet profile. But like, it's so good.
Jeff uses that. Jeff doesn't even. That was like one of the first things that started turning him on to like mushroomy flavors too, because it says like he uses it in everything too. And I'm like, yes,
so good.
Oh God, we love that one.
So good.
I like onion powder a lot. It's a good substitute for salt, at least for me, because sodium really it's too much for me personally. And I do have to be careful about what I eat as far as like sugar goes, because sugar can make me sick. And I mean sick as like a dog. And like I remember one time I had like 2 bites of my aunt's chocolate cream cake. It's absolutely fucking delicious. But about 10 minutes later, I got viciously sick and was sick the whole night and ended up throwing up, and then finally it ended with violent diarrhea. So I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to be careful about how kind of like curb the sweetness with something. I have to be really careful about what I'm eating these days. Apparently I'm starting to begin to notice some changes in my diet and what I can eat and what I can't eat. So
Getting old. Welcome to the club. I just want to address real quick. Before we McQuaid, I noticed you've been in the chat yesterday as well as today, and you have a lot of strong feelings, and I want to address that because I don't think you're alone in some of those. But I also want to like put a little bit in perspective for you right there. Dermot's been asking a lot of questions about what went down with the drama back in August and the split in the fandom, where you have sort of Friday Night Tights over there, the rest of the fandom menace, and everything else over here. And look, go back in time before that. Think about it. Anna and I never streamed with those guys before. You know, we were never on their channels. They never invited us on there, and they never responded to our invites when we invited them on ours. So there's really nothing's changed. You know, I don't know about anybody else asking you to choose sides or saying you can or can't be friends with so-and-so, or you're not welcome here if you like so-and-so. That's their business. No one here has that perspective at all. So essentially, your business, it's business as usual here. You are welcome to come here, watch this, enjoy this, delight in this, and talk about anything you've heard or experienced over on those other channels as well. That's welcome. That's perfectly fine. No one's going to attack you or shit on you for having those opinions or liking that content. You know, you might hear some strong opinions about the people who create that content, but no one is going to go after you for continuing to like and support other content that's divergent from us. There's really no difference here, though. We never worked with those people before. They never asked us to. They never came, over to here. So there's really no difference in the way we operate. Like I said, I don't know what's going on over there. If people are, asking you to choose sides and saying you can't be friends with anybody who's not in our community, who's not a friend of us, who's not a friend of that, like we're not necessarily a friend to anybody, but we're also not an enemy of anybody either. So if we're not asking you to draw those lines, like I said, everything here is as it is. Nothing's really changed. So
and it's not right to force people to work together who just, don't get along, do not want to work together. It's not right to sit here and say Anna is somebody. I mean, I don't think it's right to put that burden on Anna.
No, well, that's one thing I'll especially say is please leave Anna alone and out of this. She makes it very, very clear that she's not about drama. She's not into drama. I think she's made it very, very clear by who she chooses to stream with, where her allegiances lie, and she doesn't want to be a part of that. Like, again, when have you seen her, all over Friday Night Tights? It's not like they invited her a ton either. So it's not like there's some great, connection there that was either lost or ever existed. And at the end of the day, guys, I did not create any drama. I did not ask for any drama. I did not put out any negative sentiments about anybody in the community outside of Tom. And so other people made their feelings about me clear. Other people forced me out of their communities and told me that I was not welcome there. So if you have an issue with the rift in the fandom, it's those people who created the rift. It's those people who said, I'm not Fandom Menace anymore. I'm not part of this. I don't want to be a part of this. And I don't want you to be a part of this. The people who are making those choices and drawing the lines in the sand, those are the people you need to speak to if you have a problem with the way things shook down. Because those are the people who created the drama. Those are the people who wanted the drama. Those are the people who wanted the division and the splits. I didn't ask for them. I didn't want them. But when they're forced upon me, I'm certainly not going to go out of my way to grovel or pander to people who treated me that way. So that's pretty much it. That's about all I'm going to say about that, because we have something way, way, way more important to read.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gary N being the greatest guy ever,
Gary.
Holy shit muffins. Thank you so much for the super chat, Gary. Congratulations, Jesse. It's so beautiful to see someone pursue their dream the way you're pursuing yours of starting your own fencing studio. Thank you. I have no doubt it'll be a resounding success in changing lives, and I'm thrilled to back your campaign. Thank you so much, Gary. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. And I want to pivot just right back. Forget everything else that came before. I really want to pivot right back over to the club and what this does mean to me, because it's so special. I talked about this in the video on this channel. Helped me change the world, and that's not hyperbole. I really mean that, and I really have these visions with this club that go beyond just inviting students in and teaching them how to fence and helping them achieve those goals, but also creating content that helps bring the lessons and gifts that fencing gave to me to anybody with an internet connection. I want the ability to have a place to converge for my mindless mob community. I've reached out to 17 Live, the app that I stream on primarily, to see if there's any possibility of collaborating there and creating a physical hub in Los Angeles, for place for people to come together, creators to come together. right now, super exciting. You'll be seeing the flyer. Now the Indiegogo's up, you'll be seeing that everywhere, but you'll also be seeing the flyer for my first State of the Mob meeting. That's going live on this. That'll be live on Discord a week from tomorrow. And that will be me and anyone in the Discord community. And a little bit of like just a personal check-in. You'll find out how it's going on with the fencing studio. You'll find out what the plans are with the channel. You'll find out where it's going with my music, other opportunities I'm creating for other creators to get involved as well. That's all happening over there and the State of the Mob. So we want to bring more and more people into the fold. And one of my goals is to have that State of the Mob address take place from the fencing club, an hour broadcast live from the fencing studio, and then a live gathering, an event quarterly where anybody locally or who've traveled to the area, wants to meet and mingle with other creators. A mindless, I don't know, we'll find some mob related, gala style event. And that's what this is about to me. Like, YouTube is fun, getting on, making videos, talking to people in screens and stuff. But I have always been anti-digital media, always anti-social media at my core, because nothing replaces human interaction. Nothing at all. And that's and that's what I want. That's what I want to be able to create with this, is an opportunity to have that human interaction, to offer it to people via teaching fencing, but also create a home base, a hub for Milestone Fencing Studio and for mindless entertainment, for people to come together and create stuff together.
Beautifully said. Sorry, Jesse, I'm listening. I was just looking for the link to put in because someone asked for the link to your
no worries.
17 live, but I couldn't find it because I'm technology, just as you were talking about.
That's okay, right? Technology sucks. Fuck it. Here's the 17 live.
Thank you. See, that's why I'm so bad at this.
There you go. So, and Holocron Library Foxes got it as well. Thank you guys. Thank you, mods. You guys are awesome. But yeah, we're over there. Ooh, and excitingly, so tomorrow is just it'll be a little bit later. I'll just be streaming concurrently with Jeff. So sorry to make you guys choose. But whatchamacallit? Yeah, because Jeff's friend is actually coming into town for Halloween weekend. So he'll be in. We figured it'll be best if we just do our streams at the same time, get them both out of the way, and then boop-a-doop-a-doo. But mine will probably be a lot of music, so you can always just have that in one ear and then enjoy the chat in the other ear with Jeff. And Friday, Walsey will be coming back up. We'll be having a jam session that starts at 3 p.m. Pacific. So great little afternoon or evening live music session for you guys. It's me and my friend Walsey. We just do some covers, a couple originals, and rock out a little bit right here in my apartment. So that's like all of what's going on. That's it. Finally actually took the time, not at the ass end of the stream, to be like, hey, let me tell you what's going on in my life and plug my shit. But if you want more about that and tons of details, that's gonna be the State of the Mob on Discord next week. Also, and I gotta get back to it now that the club Indiegogo is finally launched. I do have some of my music up over on Patreon. I've recorded a couple of my covers over there. So if you do like hearing that, and I will be getting it up on Spotify one of these days. So yeah, that's happening. Anyway, what else do you guys got going on?
I do see Mandy in the private chat.
I wasn't like I said, I wasn't planning on going anytime soon. I was like, this is way prior to going. We're just getting started.
Like what? Y'all.
Mandy.
I made dinner and then I just sat down for like 5 minutes just to let my stomach settle, and then I fell asleep. And then I woke up and I was like, "Oh fuck!" So, hey,
shit happens.
Hey,
We're
girl.
still going strong.
are.
It'll be perfect. I'll take you in a little bit. I'll take you through the Indiegogos for you and anyone else who's new here. But welcome. How have you been? How it's been?
I've been good. How have you been? I missed you last night. I kept expecting you to hop on.
Oh, I know. I was out here streaming on 17 Live, getting blown the fuck up by Andy McCallum, who is like the greatest supporter ever. He's starting a channel too, so y'all should go find him. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, awesome. It was wild. I've been doing so well on 17 Live that I even got an email from my talent manager on there being like, hey, good job. What can I do to help you support a strong end of the month? And I'm like, yay. Bold move here. Is 17 Live interested in sponsoring my fencing club? Because then it could be like a place for 17 Live to do events at the end. So
that would be fun.
Yeah, I was like, this is the ballsiest thing I've ever said to anybody ever.
You look very beautiful tonight. I like that outfit. I was expecting to show up and you being like full fencing gear, like ready to stab somebody or whatever it is. I don't know.
I've done that shit. But let's just face it, though. Sex sells, and things that are not sexy, God, even though Mary disagrees, and full fencing gear. Not terribly sexy. We were having a discussion earlier that Satan is by far and away sexier than God, irrespective of your personal religious views.
I can see why that would. Bad boys. The bad boy thing, right?
See, Mandy gets it.
It's that forbidden fruit that all of us human beings are so attracted to. It's the unknown.
Exactly. It's the fruit. It's the forbidden fruit, right?
I wrote a poem called "Forbidden Fruit" when I was in like high school. One day, possibly today, who knows? One day I will like pull out my old angsty poetry and be like, "Hey guys, I did that briefly on Mindless Jedi before it blew up, before The Last Jedi and all that. I had my weekly segments. It was meant to offend. It was Jesse's journal, which were readings from my first grade journal, which I do think is something I might go back and pick up again. Maybe put it on Patreon. It's hilarious. My favorite, and then I do like little commentary on it too, because some of them are really fucked up. My favorite one is I like Thursday is my favorite day of the week, and I do not know why.
Oh, that's cute.
I can see why though.
Yeah,
Thursday's a good day.
It's a solid day.
It is
anticipation.
Yes, knowing that it's over. You know, you only got one more. I made it through Thursday, one more day, and then I can, then I get a break.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Thursday's a good day.
It instills you with such a giddy feeling inside. Friday's going to be here. Yes.
Exactly. I was really disappointed today when I realized it was Wednesday because I went all day thinking it was Thursday and I was like, yeah. And then I lost today and now I'm going to go through Thursday again. And I feel like I've already done it. So.
Friends with fandoms. My inner Jew always found it absolutely hilarious to just incessantly joke about like Jesus and Satan, especially because it made my Christian friends uncomfortable. That was the best. Actually, fun. I was talking about this last night. I had a fencing shirt. It was Jesus is my strip coach, because a strip coach in fencing is just like it's your coach at the tournament, the coach who's like on strip with you at the event, coaching you. It's like basically a really, really dorky fencing way to try to say like Jesus is my wingman. Or my coach or whatever, but it like doesn't really work because nobody fucking gets fencing shit.
No, that was not when you said your strip coach.
Exactly.
That's not what I went with.
So I saw this shirt and I'm like, this is terrible. This is the worst shirt because it's like you're trying to make this cool. This is not going to work for fencing. This just sounds like Jesus is teaching you how to take your fucking clothes off.
Yes. Yes.
So I bought that shirt and I wore it to school so proudly. Oh my God, I was so proud of that shirt. Mandy, you would have liked my other fencing shirt. It said, when all else fails, go hard, go fast, scream loud.
I like that. I like that.
I love it. Let me read a couple super chats here. Spinning My Wheel says, best wishes from a former foil guy. Well, I won't hold it against you. Foil is my least favorite of the three, but I've known a few solid foilists in my lifetime, including Paul. I will tell you the story about Paul soon. It's my favorite story. I'll actually pull out the bathroom because it's nearby. Andy McCall, thank you so much for the super sticker. Super generous super sticker. What do we get here from Andy? It's a thank you pair. No, thank you. Andy and I one day are going to be live together and get into an endless thank you. They'll be like, thank you for everything you've done for me. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
It'll be cute though.
It will be cute.
Andy's adorable. He thinks his accent is terrible. I think it's amazing. So one day you guys will all get to hear it finally.
Nice fighting.
Go Big Boy, go home. Thank you, Sean. Jesse, here's a small initial contribution. Thank you to your new club. I do hope you'll be teaching the 7 forms of lightsaber combat as well. Does fencing cover knife fighting too? So fun fact about the club, I actually want to bring in somebody to teach a stage combat course. I would love somebody, if there are people, who want to teach like a knife fighting class. I want to open it up for all different kinds of combat. And I will definitely be doing Jedi camps where we'll be doing lightsaber combat. I will have to study me up the different 7 forms. So far, my general approach to lightsaber combat is sort of a hybrid fencing stage combat style to make it look as cool as possible. So, thank you, Sean, so much for your contribution. Thank you for being on the show last night too. Touch was awesome. So Paul, the foilist that I don't hold it against him, was from a neighboring college. They used to come up and fence with us, and Paul was delightfully weird. He was just he was like a very like conventionally attractive looking guy, but just like too strange to fall into that category for most people. I absolutely adored him. Couldn't be attracted to him because he was a foilist. It's a thing. Many of you guys have seen my bathrobe. I'll grab it real quick for those.
Oh my god.
She's saying her bathrobe?
Yeah,
Is
her
she-
bathrobe. She got a bathrobe. That thing, she makes her look like a pimp.
I owned 7 fuzzy bathrobes. At the time, I only owned 4.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, at the time, I only owned 4. This was the one I was wearing that night when we were out in the patio, and Paul and some of his teammates had stuck around to party with us after we had done a little tournament. And so Paul was wearing this bathrobe because he was cold, and so I offered it to him. And he had also found a gigantic beetle, like huge, like size of the palm of your hand, like a big June bug or something like that.
Is he gonna hurt it in the story?
Not at all. No. It's excellent. And then the beetle goes away, and we all find out that he's just put it in his pocket. The pocket of my robe. There's just and he hasn't heard it. It's just chilling. Because then we're playing music, and all of a sudden, Paul Simon's Late in the Evening comes on. And he is grooving to this song. So he gets up, he takes the beetle out of his pocket, holds it in the palm of his hand, and just starts like sashaying around the patio to Paul Simon with this beetle. It was like a very, very romantic moment.
Oh my god, I love that. I love people like that.
Right?
I was gonna say I'm delightfully weird, but then you mentioned him. I'm like, you know what? I seem relatively normal.
Right? Like, I feel sane next to Paul. He was unique. Truly unique.
I'm liking that pimp robe though. Like, do you go out and get your hose in check while you're wearing that? Because
I slap them. This
Okay.
is actually that is the robe I wear when I want to do classy business. I do have a big red one that I use when I need to slap a bitch.
classy business.
Maybe there should be like
yeah, where's my
tiers
red
of
fuzzy
robes. Be tiers of robes for the ladies. Like, also, hi Mandy. I have
Hi, Mandy.
Hi, y'all.
Hi, it's great to have you. Mary.
No, thank you. This is awesome. Yeah, I noticed Mary done it. Where'd she go?
She was like, I have to go have Cameron Pasha on my channel and feel important.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot.
Oh my god, whatever. Like whatever.
Mary.
Runs with Fandoms, thank you so much for the super chat. Coach Milestone. Oh, Coach Jesse will do just fine. It just has a better ring to it, doesn't it?
Coach Jesse sounds adorable.
I like Coach Jesse.
Dang, but I will accept Coach Milestone because it sounds badass too. Will you be teaching Makashi? Not yet, but anything's possible. I need to upgrade my minimal saber skills for usage in the post-disclosure Earth annexation war. So one awesome thing that I love to talk about was saber fencing too. And dude, I went at it with somebody on another channel because someone was like, this is, or maybe it was on mine or something somewhere recent in a comment section. It might have been on somebody else's channel where they're like, fencing is so unrealistic. Oh my god.
Are you fucking kidding me? What do they think is realistic? Berserk swinging around a giant ass claymore or something with one hand?
Yeah, right.
Like you're like waving around a plank of plywood or something. Do they think that's realistic? Because it seems like fencing goes into pretty much every form of sword fighting. Actually,
if they're keeping lightsabers on Area 51, and count me in for the next raid. Next raid, Area for 51 will procure lightsabers. That would be, or are we going to get the lightsabers to do the raid? Because that sounds great too. If we are doing it with lightsabers, I'm much more inclined to participate.
I think the raid needs to happen with the lightsabers.
Yes, I'm much more inclined to participate if we're armed with lightsabers.
Yes, I feel like they would be more intimidated.
So exactly, though, baby outlaw, because this is what you're saying. That's how people feel. That's how people act about it. They're like, I'm gonna whatchamacallit. Why can't I finish a sentence? Because I saw a super chat. I want to read it because Liver's going. So we got to read from our patron saint, and then I can get back on track. Nothing will be right in the world until we take care of our patron saint.
Right.
A drink there for him. Thank you for the super chat. Congratulations to your project launch. Thank you so much, Liver. This is going to be awesome. Let's go forth and redefine amazing. I agree. Sweet Pea, catch you around, sister. Jedi Bunny and Mandy, excellence to you, my friends. With that, I'm out. Well, take care of yourself.
Liver cirrhosis.
Enjoy your cardboard dough. That's wine from a cardboard box.
That man is just such a gem.
Everything.
Such a gem. That man, so full of wisdom, so organized. He set up her server, her Discord server, and if anybody else would like to join that server. I'm trying to find the link for it, but for whatever reason, my
Here.
technologically retardant ass can't do that.
Here, it's
So-
all in the link tree. So I'm going to post my link tree because that has the Indiegogo, it has 17 Live, it has the Discord invite, and it has all the YouTube channels. So link tree right there.
Thank you.
That should, did it go in? There it goes. There it is. So
Guys, I'll be
that's-
right back. I have to pee so bad. I'll be right
Do it.
back.
It's a
Go,
lot.
go.
Joy,
I
you're
wonder if
saying-
she needs help. I'm
The-
offering help to these ladies, and Sweet Pea didn't take it. Kelly doesn't seem to be taking my help. I'm offering.
What do you do to help?
Yeah, what are you
Out of
going to help me?
curiosity.
How are you going to help me?
I don't know. Hand you the toilet paper
Are
and
you
tell
gonna-
you you're doing a good job.
Are you gonna play? Are you gonna play waterfall sounds for me?
Well, make some waterfall sound. Yeah, I'm gonna help.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna help that happen.
I have no trouble peeing, but I can't take a
wouldn't you
shit
ra-
to
wouldn't
save
you
my
rather-
life. You have to take a shit because I'll fire you. Damn, I took like 2 laxatives. Big fucking mistake. Big fucking mistake. I woke up in the dead of night and I was like, oh God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the toilet. It was so bad.
The worst food poisoning I ever, or no, it wasn't food, it was like a bug. It was like a stomach bug. I actually had to go to the hospital for dehydration because I was puking and shitting at the same time so much.
Oh,
To
both
the point where it's
ends.
like I had to sit on the toilet and hold a trash can because I couldn't puke in the toilet because I couldn't be sure I wouldn't shit while I was puking.
Oh my! I've heard of that happening to people. It
Terrible.
sounds
I had to crawl
miserable.
down the stairs into my friend's car to go to the ER and get like 2 fucking IV drips before. I
Oh
felt
my
normal
God.
again.
I remember I got
I
sick
peed
like that
orange
before, too.
sludge. Ugh.
Oh, good Lord. I had a moment like that too. It was a long time ago. And I like to call this the week from hell because literally everybody that I knew was in the fucking hospital. I ended up getting or contracting a freaking stomach virus like there was no other stomach virus that existed before it. I was shitting and vomiting and I was flashing hot and cold and I was sitting on the toilet naked like this is it. This is how I'm gonna die. Shitting and puking and like it was terrible.
Nobody wants to end up dying that way either. No one wants to be like Elvis, you
That's
know,
bad,
where
yeah.
you die on the shitter. That's the worst.
That is
That's-
the worst.
But
Yeah.
I mean, but I have heard that you shoot yourself when you die, so
Yeah, you
maybe it
This
saves
is-
you from that embarrassment. Maybe.
That's true, actually. That is fair. It's like, I mean, if you shit yourself when you die anyway, isn't the toilet the better place to do it? I think it's a fair.
It seems the reason. I mean, if it's good enough for Elvis, who are we to say it's not good enough for us, right?
Oh my
Because
goodness.
he died on the shitter eating a chili dog.
Exactly. I agree with you, Mandy. That was
He was eating a chili dog when it happened. Same
That was a
time, like
great aside.
like
Oh my
a you know, you only live once situation, shitter and a chili dog, and then death.
I'm ashamed to say my mom's a huge Elvis fan, but I've never heard of this.
You
Really?
I never knew that's how he died. Yeah,
Yeah.
Died on the
I
toilet eating a sandwich, yeah.
Yeah, he had an aneurysm, right? Am I right with that? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he had
Yep.
he died on the shitter. Which
I think it was
is,
a
you know,
heart attack and an aneurysm, like a compound.
At
Like
the
basically
same
his
time.
body was just like fuck this, I'm out.
It's a lot of drugs, though. Man, he was working them drugs, so
Yeah, no shit. My mom saw him live when he was older and fat, and she was like, it was upsetting because like he was not good looking at that point, I guess, according in her opinion. But women were still like throwing their bras and panties at him and shit.
Yeah, by the end, when he would wear those jumpsuits, it really wasn't didn't have the same flair.
Didn't have the same appeal. No.
How old was he when he died? Was he like 50 in his 50s or was it 40?
It was 40s.
I would say 40s. I would say 40s.
Yeah, 40s. It's
I
tragic.
don't know that 100%, but that's
Twin.
Hey
Elvis had
Siri,
a-
how
He was
old
what?
was Elvis when he died?
Elvis had a twin that died at birth or before they were born, maybe.
really
Age 42.
42.
Oh my
So he
God,
was young.
Very young.
He was very young.
Younger
drug
than I
Like his
thought.
wives.
Imagine if there were 2 Elvises, though. If his twin survived, there would have been 2.
That would
Oh
have
my
been so
goodness.
weird. 2 Elvises out
That's
there.
insane.
What if the other
to
one had
think
become like a
there could have been
mechanical
two.
engineer or something?
Yeah, it could have been completely different, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Macy, thank you for the super chat. Jesse, I backed your play. Thank you so much. It is it's a big one. And also says, all these beautiful ladies. We aim to please, Macy. We aim to please. We always love your support.
I know I'm not on camera. I'm not on camera because I don't have one.
We'll get there.
You're
Though.
so beautiful.
Thank you.
So I did remember what I was responding to from you earlier, baby Outlaw. So there are the people that just like, yeah, they're like, oh, you got to do classic fencing, otherwise it's not real. And I'm like,
oh God.
So classic fencing is all about trying to do moves exactly the way they look in like old dusty manuals, trying to extrapolate from old dusty manuals that what people actually did, and then using them with what they suppose are the same styles of weapons, which they survived, so we kind of know and can recreate them, except that you can't actually fight with a perfect recreation of an old dueling weapon, because back in the day, a lot of these, now there was fencing sport too, but there was a lot of the dueling weapons were actually used, were fenced to first blood. It got to a point with epee where like you could fence a fairly gentlemanly duel with proper protection. That's why whites were whites. The original fencing uniforms are whites, and persist to this day, so that when you dueled to the first blood, it was obvious when somebody was bleeding. And that was sport, that was part of the sport. So it's kind of retarded to act like somehow whatchamacallit, oh, it's more realistic to use the old style and the old footwork of the heavier weapons when you're still not doing it the old fucking way. When I explain to people today is timing and distance. That is the core of my sport. It's timing and distance. How do you manipulate the distance on the strip to make the other person do what you want them to do so you can hit them when they're not expecting it? This timing and distance, these principles are the same ones you use in knife fighting, that you use in Krav Maga and any other combat. The distance adjusts based on the weapon and the size and reach of a person, but adjusting distance is also a part of fencing, right? Other sports don't have it to the same extent, even though it's valuable. Not every boxer learns to adjust their distance based on the height of their competitor, but obviously that can make a massive amount of difference if you're dealing with somebody who has a much smaller wingspan. Fencers have to be able to do that because the hitting distance is the critical piece of our combat. So if you can't adjust to somebody else's distance, you're getting hit. Learning to adjust to distance, learning how to adjust to the timing and distance of your opponent is one of the that unlocks the key to succeeding in any form of combat. That was the secret that Bruce Lee brought into Jeet Kune Do, and the one that purportedly they killed him for. But essentially it was all of that, and a lot of that he married from his study of Western fencing into his study of Wing Chun and what else he did, Kung Fu, and put those all together in his style. So
yeah, I've heard to just talk about Bruce Lee for 1 second. I've heard so many conspiracy theories about Bruce Lee. Like, it's just so wild to me, some of the stuff. But yeah, it's like, I've never understood the issue with some people marrying certain fighting styles together. You could completely come up with something really useful and a brand new skill. Like, I think it's pretty cool. Maybe some will work.
MMA, right? Mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
and that's what Krav Maga is. Krav Maga would be like the practical version of what MMA is the sporting version, right? MMA has safety rules in place, but the idea is it brings in you, the individual fighter, bring in whichever elements you know the best. Krav Maga says whatever works. So it as a discipline brings in elements from all of its ground fighting, pretty much comes from jiu-jitsu, but a lot of the takedowns are from wrestling. A lot of the striking is from boxing and kung fu. But then and what's the other one that's the kicking one? Taekwondo. All our kicking is like Taekwondo style. But then there are certain Aikido weight transfers that come into play. There are power pain points that are used in like Hapkido and other forms of martial arts, like submissions and stuff like that. And then, like I said, a lot of the striking comes from boxing. So it's a huge blend. Now, the issue for the whole idea with Bruce Lee comes twofold. One is something that Americans consistently fail to understand, which is why they consistently fail to appeal to a Chinese market. In Chinese culture, you are not Chinese unless you were born in China. If you are if you were born on American soil and your parents moved you right back to China when you were a bitty baby and they were born in China and you were raised all your life, doesn't matter. You're American. You do not ever have that full citizenship, right? It's a lot like in Judaism, where my people, certain levels of orthodoxy, they will always treat you as lesser if you were converted and weren't born that way through your parental lineage. And so Bruce Lee was that case. Bruce Lee was born on U.S. soil, and was never. And so, even though he was allowed to study and became a master in all of these techniques, the fact that he went on to create his own school and teach these secrets of these highest level secrets, because he earned, he unlocked he worked his way into the highest levels of these martial arts to learn, their secrets or whatever, the masters, and went ahead and just taught them to Westerners, whoever wanted to know. And so they killed him for it. That's the predominant conspiracy
reigning theory about what happened. Yeah,
that is the prevailing theory, and that's the one that I subscribe to. But it was when I started fencing that I learned the bit that it was his study of Western fencing that was the piece that made his Jeet Kune Do style so different. And one of the pieces he adopted, because it works, that is doesn't really fly in martial arts, the concept of the feint, but like with the same weapon. So in martial arts, if you feint high, like let's say you fake a, top and kick, that's different than, say, if you were to pretend to hit somebody like somewhere and then come around with like the elbow on the other side, like pretend to hit them on one side, and then when they go to block, hit them when they've opened up. That's your typical feint disengage in fencing. It's considered a slimy move for the, honorable ways of fighting in Eastern martial arts. Someone like Bruce Lee's like, well, it works. It's functional. It's not about, this is not about it being honorable. This is about it being practical in the sporting sense. And so he brought a lot of that misdirection and body feints, tempo feints into martial arts. So
why did I think you could only hold the sword with one hand?
Because
like one behind your back, is that not?
Yep, that's Olympic fencing. That's my sport. That's what we do.
Okay.
Yep. So actually, let me show you the Y fencing video. Let me show you the Y fencing video in this pitch. I'll go take you through a little bit of the campaign, but because it has a couple of examples of what some pretty high level and a couple of just me. I should just take it onto YouTube so we can full screen it.
I'm just gonna get some popcorn. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Actually, I've been peeing like a racehorse. I don't know what's going on. I'll be right back, babe.
It's gonna take 3 years for this video to load anyway, so take your time, because that's the life we live. Alrighty.
I'm so excited for you, though. This is gonna be awesome.
Thank you. I am super stoked. I did put a link to your Pirate Queen campaign in the description. So
thank you, Lovebug. Thank you.
Make sure everyone goes and checks that out too, because we got we got the other one in the mail.
Yes. So excited.
Pretty. Jeff is hogging it. He's like, I love the story. And I'm like, great. Can you give it to me so I can read it too? Please and thank
That's
you.
what Jeff does. And then shit Pancake's gonna take it next. And you're just gonna be down on the bottom of the totem pole.
And they'll give it to Jane, and they'll give it to Splash, and he'll give it to Lando, and then maybe after that, if it's still okay, then you can read it. If it's still in good condition,
it won't be.
We'll see.
Yeah,
that's what we'll see about
it. All right. No, I didn't want you to play yet. I just wanted you to chill. Okay. Blah 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 blah. All right. Okay. It seems like it might be loaded. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and play it since the others have already seen it as well. Anyway. Boop. Hi, my name is Jesse Milestone, and before I show you why fencing is the greatest sport you can choose no matter what age you are, we should probably all be clear on what fencing is. This is fencing. But so is this. The same elements that make those fights so exciting. Flashy moves, the last-minute saves, the heart-pounding victories. These can all be found whenever two people suit up to fence. In those movies, The Princess Bride, Gladiator, Star Wars, those are the movies that inspired me to start fencing and continue to inspire me. Fencing offers the unique rewards and challenges that come with individual sports. Now, not everyone is predisposed for an individual sport. It requires a great deal of self-discipline and independence. But fencing can also help you develop those traits. Whether you're young, an adult looking for a new pastime, or over 50 and still have dreams of becoming a world champion. Yeah, we have veteran world champions for age groups starting in 50s and going to 80s and above. But for our younger competitors, fencing offers one of the most valuable life experiences you can have. It offers you the chance to work your hardest, to train every day, to give 110%, and still fail miserably. And then to learn how to deal with that crushing defeat that belongs to you and you alone. And get back out there and eventually overcome any obstacle that's in your path. Fencing is more suited to personal development than any other sport because no other sport challenges your brain and your body at the same time to the same extent. I mean, you can take a fencer that, lacks physical prowess, but can puzzle their way through their opponent's strategy, and they can have the same amount of success as a more naturally gifted athlete who is technically precise, but ends up a few fries short of a happy meal. And there's equal room for both of these types of fencers in my sport. But even as I sing the praises of fencing as an individual sport, the club culture offers not just a team, but a family, an opportunity for people to come together of all ages and all backgrounds. When I was a teenager, I had a group of friends, a bunch of 20-something-year-olds. We were the first group of adults that treated me like I was one of them and not as another kid. In return, I got so much perspective from their life experiences that really helped me through some of my most difficult years. And I also had a friend who was several years my junior, and over time I kind of started to look at her like a little sister. Now, a couple years ago, I was the maid of honor at her wedding. So it's no surprise why I think fencing is the greatest sport. I mean, it's given me character development, physical fitness, a job, a career, travel opportunities, lifelong friends. It offered me all this because of everything that I put into it. With the same dedication, it can take you to the NCAAs, take you to a world championship, even take you to the Olympics. You don't have to be the fastest or the strongest or the smartest. You don't have to be born an athlete or possess any special talent. But if you want it the most and you're willing to train the hardest to get it, then you can be the one. Stretching down your mask, extending your lead into your opponent, and screaming for your sweet, sweet victory.
Yay!
That
Jesse,
was so, oh my goodness.
So good. Look, you can hear just how much you love this sport when you talk about it. You can tell that, you love this fucking sport, and that's amazing. I'm just so proud of you, and that was so good. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
I love that tidbit about, saying that you don't have to be the fastest or the strongest, but if you're willing to basically go the distance, you can be those things. And that's what's really good about, I feel like that's what sports in some way should be. Now, granted, that's just my opinion, but I think it's important to tell students that, listen, if you just want to do this for the more so recreational purposes of it, to sort of build family or, find a community that suits you, because people do long for community, I would say. And that's primarily why we all group up, right? And so I think that's something that a lot of times should be more emphasized than just win, 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 because that's all that's going to be on your mind, and you're not really going to be a group player or a team player. I mean, I've experienced that. I mean, whenever I was, an equestrian, a competitive equestrian, right? My instructor, who I will not name and never name because she was an ass, kind of made me and the people who were on my, in my group, it wasn't really a team, sort of like figure skating where you're on a team, but you're really an individual in the sport. She kind of turned us against each other. She would give information to one girl and then withhold it from another girl who were basically competing in the same sport, the same, what's the word? The same event, right? Like a fencing event where you jump and stuff like that, or barrel racing, because she was multi whatever. She would teach other types of, ways to ride a horse, but she wouldn't give that information to one girl simply because she chose one girl out of favoritism. And she definitely didn't like me because I was very combative to everything that she said and everything she tried to teach. And so anytime I would get up there, mean, she would withhold certain like tips to, what would please the judges the most, that kind of thing. And so it was just, I think it's really important to start building a community versus like who's going to get us to the top the fastest, and instead of like giving somebody something that they love, because that turned me off of horseback riding for a long time, which is sad to say, simply because of that fucking teacher. And I think we need good, a good teacher in any field will change a student. It's just like, Mr. Miyagi said, there are no bad students, only bad teachers.
Yep. Oh, wait, Jesse, we can't hear you.
You're muted.
Oh, whoops. I agree with that completely. I was saying, I'm friends with the club in Las Vegas, where they, Oh, also, by the way, I did drop the link for that video in the chat. I know you can really see that. I know it's like very pixelated visually, so it is there. But yeah, words. Now I lost my train of thought. No, the coach makes a huge amount of difference. And like, I've watched people quit their sport because of that. But yeah, this club that I'm friends with, they started because the owners, actually, their child was asked to leave another club because they said their child was a problem and they couldn't deal with it. And so they funded the opening of another club, got some coaches in there, and the coach worked with the child to help him handle his emotions better when he was fencing. And now he has no problems on the strip, perfectly well behaved, all that stuff, no issues whatsoever. So it was just that. It was just like, he needed to hear it the right way. My student is tiny. She is the tiniest one, and I love her. She fences. She's 11 years old. She fences in Y12s and Y14s. She just staged into Y14s this year, and she has medaled now in Y14s at regional
Way
events.
to go.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
We love a little tiny badass who can whoop the bigger one.
Oh yeah. And the really cool special thing about Jolene is that when I've refereed for years, I refereed for close to a decade, for about a decade now, over a decade. And I've watched a lot of the little bitty fencers that come in, and they'll do really well, pretty well in their age group. So Jolene's age group right now is Y12, and then she's fencing up into Y14s. And then they'll fence in the Y14s, and you'll see the flashes of brilliance, and they'll take down some other fencers, but they'll get tripped up by the fact that the other fencers are taller and they don't know what to do at the distance. And we have already gotten, she's already gotten to a place where at 11, she already is, taking out girls a full foot taller than her practically, because she's figuring out how to manipulate the distance. She understands the sport at such a high level that she can do things that most girls aren't doing until they're 15, 16 years old to compensate for her smaller size. And it's awesome. And it's cool though, because it proves that us working together, her working with a coach who is, and this came to be because she trains at another club as well that already has a facility, a program, etc. And she just takes private lessons with me, and we have a great partnership. And I love that club, but she's never felt 100% at home there. And part of it is the coaching philosophy. And most coaches have a philosophy that lacks an amount of wiggle room. And this other club, actually, I think for any one philosophy, this is a really, really good one. They emphasize, thinking fencers with a really, really strong hand on athletics and your technique. So they give you a really good foundation in footwork. They make sure your technique is good, which is so important to me because that takes care of the safety of your body. The number one thing that controls the safety of your body. And then to me, thinking is the equalizer. You can overcome anything, and thinking your way through the action also teaches you what you need to work on technique wise. So I like that approach, but he's the kind of coach that, and there's a lot of these, they don't like to teach their fencers flashy actions. They won't teach their fencers, like literally anything I clipped and showed you in that video. I pulled from a video called Dirty Saber Touches Your Coach Won't Let You Watch. Those are the number one kinds of touches. Jolene is like, teach me. Aww. She finds them on her own. She's like, I finally taught her one called a sky hook that I was like, I'm never going to teach you this, but I finally did. I teach her all these dirty, flashy, ridiculous actions. She she did one at nationals that drew oohs and ahs from the crowd. It was
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be such a moment for you too, Jesse, as her coach.
Especially because the connection. So there's this thing like as a fencing coach, hey, you student, do this, and they're like, oh, I'm way too caught in my head in the sport in the moment to actually do what you said. And this moment, it was so perfect too, because this was a touch we had christened the fun touch. And what it looks like to the average person is normally when the referee says on guard ready fence, you both come in together and hit. Now, there's a thing you can do where you back up with your blade out. That's sort of a defensive action that can take the right of way. And it's done a lot of times when someone wants to break up the momentum because they're not doing well in the middle and they just sort of need a reset. They'll do a little trick touch off of that to get the blade. Well, the most common one is you come out with the blade, you come back in with the blade. If your point is out like that, that means the other person has to do something about it. And when they go to do something about it, then you can go around it, etc. That's the typical trick. Now, the trick that I taught Jolene is you go backwards like this. They're typically going to come at you and attack because they know it's their turn to hit. When they come to attack, you step in, you do this big sweeping parry across your body, a fancy one that most 11-year-olds don't even know how to do. And I'm like, you do that one, boom, pick up that blade, hit them, your touch, your reset. So I told her going into this bout, it was her, it was her semifinal bout at nationals against a girl who was like 2 feet taller than her from one of the best saber clubs in the country. And I said, if there's a point in the bout where I think you're kind of losing the thread of it, where you're not like in control, I'm going to yell fun touch. And then I want you to just do that touch. That one we talked about. Boom. And right out of the get-go, right off the gate, she was having a little bit of trouble getting to the rhythm of the bout. So she lost the first 2 touches, and I could tell she wasn't sure what to do next. And I wasn't sure what to tell her to get her back into the rhythm. So I said, fun touch right there, 2-0 in this bout. And so right off the get-go, she pulls out with that, comes in.
Oh, dude.
Little fencer, big
dude.
Oh, right there on the strip. The whole
chills.
crowd is
my God.
What? I showed everybody the video of that because I was like, you damn right.
She's a little badass. that is fucking everything.
That's awesome.
I love that. I just got a chill that ran up my spine. I'm like, man, I always like the idea of swords and stuff like that, but it never felt like it was my calling. But I definitely admire the sort of the artistry of a good sword fight, or a fencing fight, right? You just see it and the way they move and the way they have to think quickly, right? And then sort of like kind of capture your opponent in this mental space. It's very interesting to observe. And I completely love the idea of this fencing club because of the things that you want to do with it, the community you want to build. And I feel like this whole month has been about community and building a community that helps other people. I love that. It's something that I really wish more people were invested in doing. And I'm definitely right behind you, kid.
Thank you.
You got it, lady.
That reminds me of a term that I love, which is think globally, act locally, which is like you have such a cultural mindset, Jesse. You're so worldly and you're like in your pursuits of knowledge and understanding of the world and people and humanity and all that stuff. But I love that you're creating a community. And also it's obviously a hub that people can access online too and get information from here on YouTube or through whatever means they want. But actually a physical space where you can bring people together, that's like irreplaceable. And that's so important these days too. Like you said in your other video, I forget which the other one was called, not the Y fencing, but the other one that I watched.
Video, yeah,
the pitch video. That one was so cool because it was like we can change things this way because we're creating this community where we can build each other up. We can change for the better. We can work on ourselves as people, personal development. Like that's huge.
It is. It is. No, you're doing some awesome shit. You really are. This is incredible. I'm so stinking proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, you are going to be amazing. And one day I'm going to come over there and you're going to have to teach me how to do something. But be scared because giving me a weapon is so dangerous.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be like, I'm going to have like, okay, this is a creator day where everyone's going to come out. And actually, one of my thoughts was to do like a little reality show and basically hit up like all of you guys, all the my creator friends. All right, we're going to get a bunch of YouTubers together for the weekend and teach them fencing and then see who wins the tournament at the end of it.
Oh my gosh, that would be fun.
I would walk to California if I had to.
I would love to do
Yeah.
that. That's like that's something I want to try to do is like during the first year as like another fundraiser, another big, publicity push too for the club. So oh God, I have so many big ideas. I couldn't even begin to tell you them all now. Things like, that are more boring for you guys, but just I have an idea for a huge training event. It wouldn't even take place in the club because we need a bigger location for it. But basically, we have such a problem in my sport of needing to train referees, needing to train people to run the tournaments, and all that stuff. Fencers need to get experience at tournaments, feeling like they go to their first big national event and they're like totally lost. And so they lose out kind of on all that first, their ability to do well at that first event because of the experience. And I'm like, what if you built a giant expo event where you like paid a couple of Olympic fencers to come and fence in a big event? So you give other fencers, who normally wouldn't have the chance to potentially fence these Olympic fencers. You give developing referees the chance to referee at that high level where there are no stakes involved. So no one's going to bite their head off if they make a dumb mistake. And then you also give trainees an opportunity to try to run a tournament where if it goes horribly wrong, again, no national points are on the line. And all you need to do is,
right?
Yeah, all you need to do is create the incentives for those few top athletes to be there. And then the incentive exists for everyone else to participate. So
that is awesome. Look at you. You are just out there doing shit. I'm seriously, Jesse, I'm so stinking proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm really excited for you, Jesse.
Me
I'm
too.
really excited for you. I want this, and I think this is going to work. I really do, because I always admire people that go out of their way to create things, to offer that alternative avenue for an audience or a group of people who are just sort of disillusioned with the current state that their lives are in right now. And I think that there is a real need for that in our society at large, just in general. The idea of people are so hungry for something different. And I think that you definitely offer, and have always offered up, such a different perspective to the status quo, and that you don't go with the flow. And I admire that, because to me, I relate to you on such a level about, I think you and I and Jedi Bunny, and I'm not sure if Mandy experienced this, but what it was like growing up being the alternative girl. And I'm not talking about the alternative as in being loving alternative rock, but being somebody who was kind of naturally contrarian. Absolutely. I was like that whenever I was young, and it was very difficult to find other people, who wanted to be my friend, and the friend, it was a very lonely place to be in. And I think that either a lot of times you kind of get shunned by those who do follow the status quo.
Yes.
And they're not enough, and I hate saying the word spaces now, but there are not enough spaces for people who are not like everyone else and who need a different way to sort of follow or apply constructively to their lives.
Absolutely.
And I think that, because I always had a hard time in school. I learned by doing, like literally doing. You could sit there and show me something all fucking day long, and it would just go right over my head. But if you start, if you sit down with me and you teach me and you show me how, and I am doing what you were also doing, that is how I learn. And I think that there is a real place for what you're wanting to do and to change things. I'm all here for it, to the end of the fucking line, I say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. I read the super chat from Runs with Phantoms because he's like, it looks like I'm part of the stream.
He does. Look, for a few minutes there, I had, it was my body with his head.
With his head.
It was pretty hot. It was pretty hot. I liked it.
It was pretty fly. Here, we can try that again for see what that looks like. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
A little bit.
He says, my one serious issue, choreographed duels, fencing will develop reaction time, muscle memory, and skills needed for real-time dueling. Exactly.
Yeah.
That is why fencing, it's exactly. All of them, for all, it's not realistic to, what we actually do on a strip is not realistic to a sword fight. However, the timing and distance, the skills that you develop, the reaction, and the, and not just reaction, what it actually becomes is you learn to process quicker.
Yeah, well, of course, and you're learning your muscle movements, so you get used to how things feel. You're able to, you know, it gives you a situation where you can sit there and, okay, that didn't work, so now this time let me do it and try it with this and see how that. So yeah, I totally see that. With I've never
hands-on.
Nobody in my family would ever have been brave enough to hand me a weapon. So I never got to fence, though I've always, much like you know, I've watched The Princess Bride, and that sword fight is one of the greatest scenes really in all time, in every movie. That was just so beautiful. And as a kid, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? It was amazing. So yeah, I think this is going to be the coolest shit ever. And I swear, if I lived near you, I would send you my little ones and be like, here, teach them shit.
I'd love to have them. So I'm going to scroll through just a little bit here so Mandy and anyone else who joined us later can see. There's my little pitch video up there if you guys want to watch it. I know my internet's dog shit, so I won't make you sit through it anymore. The dream, this is sort of just reiterates the pitch for you. There's that Y fencing video we watched. If you want to watch it again, better quality. We are going to have a grand opening. So if anyone does want to travel a great distance, there's going to be the celebrity guest will be there. Isaac C. Singleton Jr. was a pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean and was in a bunch of other movies, including Deadpool, Anger Management. He was on the season 2 of The Mandalorian. He is the voice for Thanos and like all of Marvel's animated stuff. So super, super awesome guy. But he will be there. He's in you can see his perk over here. There's the Isaac perk. And then down yonder, there's on my Milestone Fencing Studio logo designed by Jeff, put on everything. Yes, I was going for a Lord of the Rings One Ring.
I was gonna say it looked very Tolkien, and
that was the oh yeah. So if you come to the grand opening, you back to the photo op tier, you get to do a like action pose photo with Isaac. But if you back that tier and you're remote, we will send you an autograph picture.
That is so cool. That is so freaking cool.
So I do want to touch a little bit of the tea, some of this juicy stuff I promised about fencing, but I know Kelly might have to get going here soon. So
unfortunately, so do I, because I slipped through most of this stream and I have another one at 8 and I feel so bad. But if you're still going when I'm done, I'm gonna come back.
Well, I don't know how long you're actually go wrap this up, and I'll make you guys come back to hear all the fencing details. You guys will just have to come back to your lips because it's funny you brought up Bruce Lee earlier. That's something I kind of want to do with fencing. I want to be the Bruce Lee of fencing. I've picked up many of the secrets, and I know many people's very ruinous secrets about them. That's one thing. But aside from that, I also I've discovered even just over this past year of putting it out to people, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to start putting information out there. What's information you wish everybody knew? You know, more people knew. And a lot of people got really weird and clammy about it until finally one person just kind of, sort of said it and was like, you're going to meet a lot of resistance on this topic because a lot of club owners do not want a central database of information for their parents, for their students, etc., because they want to be able to control that information. They want to be able to convince you that, yes, if you just keep giving me more and more money, I will absolutely get your student to the Olympics one day. It's going to be very, very detrimental to their business model when I put out a video very soon discussing exactly what it takes monetarily, time, effort, etc., to go to the Olympics. And if you're unwilling to put those things in, then no coach can get you there no matter what.
That sounds very much like what they do within gymnastics, actually, where...
Yep.
That seems very much like how they do, because every girl's going to the Olympics. She's going, and then what they don't tell you is, as a parent, you're going to need to quit your job. You're going to need to move cross country. You're going to need to live here. Your child is going to be in training. Get ready to homeschool or get a tutor because they're going to be in training 8 to 9 hours a day. They don't tell you all that, but.
Nope.
So that sounds very, very familiar.
And I'm going to be upfront with things like 60-40. My coaches were upfront with me about 60-40, right? When you go out into when you go to fence a tournament, 60% of the time, just over half of the time, you can expect to perform at your level. 40% of the time, you can expect something to go wrong, either with you internally or something with the tournament. Somebody else you get a bad draw in the second round and fence a harder person who had a bad time in the first round. All sorts of things can go wrong. So 40% of the time, you can expect to place lower than you expected going in. And that could be a little bit lower or a lot. And not everybody prepares parents, especially, to deal with the slow pace that results may come in and the agonizing defeats they may have to witness and help their children through on the way to those victories. And people think they're doing a good job of selling this to you by not cluing you into that fact. But what actually just happens is people get disillusioned and they quit. You let people know right off the get-go. They take it as a challenge. If I tell you that not everyone is cut out for the sport, that's why I put that in my video that way specifically, my Y fencing video. Not everyone is cut out for an individual sport. Because when you tell somebody that, if they hear that and they take it as a personal challenge and they go, okay, watch me, then I go, okay, then you are that there, right? The sporting hat.
That's the mentality. That's what makes the difference. It's a lot of this stuff is mind over matter. It's how bad do you want it? How bad do you actually want this? Because it's, if you want it bad enough.
Exactly. My 11-year-old wants to go to the Olympics. She currently, at age 11, trains with me an hour a day, 5 days a week. And then she goes down 3 days a week to the other club to go to their group training. And then when we have ours, she'll be at that club every single day, assistant coaching, as well as taking her private lessons, participating in classes, etc. She'll be there, be putting in those hours starting at 11, with the goal of seeing the Olympics in 2028. So
that's a badass little girl right there.
Yeah, damn.
She is that is a driven little girl that is going to be able to accomplish anything she puts her little head to. So that's awesome. That's just amazing.
I'm so lucky that I've got, well, we'll read the super chat so I can bring Sweepy's beautiful face back. Thank you, Macy. Got to make supper. Y'all have a great evening. We'll wind it down here ourselves. So thank you so much for the super chat. But the cool thing is coaches look for what I have with Jolene their whole careers, and some only get it once. I'm convinced that my model means I could probably do this with most of my students. It's like this Vulcan mind meld, right? Let's tell you about the club philosophies.
Oh yeah, Vulcan mind meld. I'm sorry.
The one way that the club that she goes to doesn't suit her is they don't get down for those flashy touches. And I'm like, that's what gives her the power as this little shrimpy fencer, is being able to pull out the baller touches. Everyone says the same thing about my fencer. She's fearless. She's fearless. The number one thing we do in lessons is coach her onto how to overcome the immense amount of fear that she deals with every time she gets on the strip. That is number one coaching. And what manifests on the strip is that every single person comes to me and says she's fearless. It's taking that, it's understanding that it's not about my philosophy or my approach. It's not about whether I think it's good to teach a girl the size of Skyhook. It's about knowing that teaching her a Skyhook means she's going to go plot this ridiculous touch onto somebody who she has no right doing it to. And it's going to change the momentum of the entire bout. It's going to turn more heads and make those people go, I want to send my kid to whatever club teaches you to do that. And that's what we have. It's like the magical gift too, where we have a positive feedback loop. I am able to provide the things that she needs to help her get better, and she feels comfortable asking for those things from me. And like I said, coaches seek this forever, and I'm so lucky that I get to start my club out with the one I'm going to take the farthest probably to any of my students.
That's amazing.
I hope they make a movie about you and this girl.
Right?
Make a movie. It'd be like a Rocky and Mickey story. That's what it's going to be like. You and this girl. I love it.
Tuned. She's great. And she hates when I sing Jolene to her. So I always make up new verses.
I can understand that.
I make up new words. Anytime she does something that displeases me, I make up words to torment her. It's great.
Listen, there's a girl who, with the name Montana around the time Hannah Montana came out and was in theater at the time. Could you imagine what that was like? So I understand how poor Jolene feels. Except Jolene had a cooler... how are you going to dip on Dolly Parton? God, I love that woman.
I get Dolly Jesse's Girl, which is a good song, but not flattering for Jesse.
Yeah.
I get Mandy and Amanda. I can pull Boston's Amanda out too. So
that's reasonable. I like it. There's got to be a Kelly song out there, isn't there?
There's one on Cheers.
Oh, I love Cheers, by the way. It's one of my favorite freaking shows.
The lyrics are just Kelly over and over and over again.
Kelly.
What, say? Sounds like something you couldn't forget.
At least you're not the person whose best friend is trying to steal your girlfriend. So
that's true.
What about Jesse's mom? Was it Jesse's mom? Jesse? Oh,
Stacey's mom. I tried so hard to talk my husband into letting us name my daughter Stacy for that reason. So I could.
She's like,
Wow.
I want to be Stacy's mom. Oh my
I want to
God,
be
yes.
Stacy's mom, right? But no, I got vetoed. I got cut.
I can understand why your husband would not want you to be
Yeah.
Stacy's mom.
Yeah, he didn't like it. He didn't
I
like
don't
that
think he
idea.
wants to imagine you having an affair with a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
I was dreaming big. God damn it! I have big dreams over here. I got
All right.
dreams too. Damn it!
I've
Right,
got
everyone
y'all.
needs dreams. Everyone needs dreams. Fencing club, Stacy's mom, whatever, whatever. floats your boat.
Whatever.
All right. So, people, plugs, talk about yourselves. Who wants to go first?
I'll go because I have to get to an appointment. So I'll
Yes,
go.
so go. Go. Look at
Okay.
you being assertive.
So my name is Kelly, but my channel name is Jedi Bunny, and I just released a video about horror movies and why I love them, but in particular horror movies with heart. And I don't release videos that often, so it's special. And I don't stream that often, but if you want to check out my channel, you can. And I'm so bad. I'm so bad at promoting myself. I'm so sorry. Okay, what else? I think that's it.
I got you, girl.
Kelly is amazing, and she is funny as hell, and she makes amazing content when she actually does it. It is awesome. You guys go and sub over on this girl's channel because Kelly is awesome.
Kelly's also very smart. She's
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of wisdom within her. She knows how to talk philosophy, and I dig that about her.
Oh,
See, there you go, love bug. We got you.
thank you guys. You guys see, that's why I need you guys because I'm not good at this on my own. I'll figure it out one day. I don't know.
Oh, or you just got friends who got you covered.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I will go next because y'all know I ain't got no problem talking about me. So, like, what? Yes, you guys. I'm Mandy Summers. Please go check out my comic book, Pirate Queen 2, that is available on Indiegogo. Also, Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter is still available for a limited time at this point. Please go check out my books. Go check out my YouTube channel. It's Mandy Summers. Actually, right after this, I'm going directly over there to do What the Fuck Is All This Junk, where Peter Gilmore and I are going to be opening 10 really, really crappy Halloween items that we got from Dollar Tree and Poundland. So, Poundland, is that not great that it's called Poundland over there?
I know. I was thinking of Pound Town.
Oh, I know. We're going to go to Poundland and then Pound Town. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, yes, you guys, Jesse, I'm so sorry I slept through most of the stream.
Dude, I'm
I will
so
be
glad
back
you made
for the
it.
next one. I will be
Sounds
back
good.
for the next one.
It was such a pleasure to have you. Sweet Pea, let us all know what you're up to as well.
All right. Okay. So my name is Baby Outlaw, and I hail from the great state of Texas, but I am no videos on my channel yet, unfortunately, but I do plan on doing, I had this interesting idea for live streams where I would essentially have a guest on, maybe two. I'm probably just going to do one because of what, it entails me having to do. But if I had a guest on, and I am Baby Outlaw, right? So I'm going with a complete Western theme for my channel.
Nice.
And I was going to give them honorary outlaw monikers of their choosing, or I would make one for them, and I would craft a little story around that moniker and then read it on air to whoever be watching. And I think that would be something that would really be fun, but it doesn't have to be an outlaw. You can choose to be like a bounty hunter, a sheriff. You can work in a freaking saloon. You can be a freaking whore if you want to, which Andy
Like
McCallum is
Andy.
elected
Andy's
to
a
be.
whore.
Yeah.
Andy the Amorous is
bring
what
the
he's going to
whores.
be called. I also thought about doing, I mentioned this to Jesse the other day. I haven't really thought much further on it, but I thought about doing a murder mystery stream where I'd have guests on and we'd all have like sort of a little roles. You know how murder mystery parties work. If you've ever been to one, like it'd be kind of like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm also going to be doing a fandom jump with the Bass Man. His name is Cody. He is what
I love Cody. He's
my
awesome.
gosh, he is awesome. Jesse likes to call him the Rain Man of logos, and she's not fucking wrong.
Nope.
But I am doing, he is. I'm doing fandom jump with him, and I'm doing Resident Evil fandom. And we played Resident Evil 5 together because it's a 2-player, and we discussed, what was going on in the current state of Resident Evil as far as the franchise go, how we felt about it. Watched a fan movie, which was a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs. I kind of felt bad because I was making all the bloopers for him because I would talk over him. But he's super patient, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to discuss why Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises, and a way it sort of
And
made me a lot of
dropping on?
friends. That's going to be
That
Friday,
drops
the
tomorrow,
29th.
right? Yeah.
Right?
That
Yeah.
drops
Oh my
Friday.
goodness.
Friday. Sorry, yeah.
Today's
Friday. I'm
Wednesday.
confused.
Today's Wednesday, y'all.
Today's
Yeah,
only
see?
Wednesday.
See,
I did it
you,
too now.
You just lost a
Yeah.
day. Now you
I
got to
did.
do Thursday over
Fuck.
again now.
God damn it.
So,
That's
Exactly.
terrible.
but
Well,
I think it's
yeah.
mhm.
Sorry, let me finish up. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But that's about it for me. You know, I don't have any videos currently, but I've been planning a big one for a while, and it's going to be a series that I'm going to title Mediocrity Is, and it's essentially scripted, me discussing sort of the issues that I have with people sort of celebrating mediocrity within art. And you can always tell what state, and I said this before, I'll say it again, I'll never stop saying it. You know, you can always tell what state a society is in by what art it champions and heralds. And to me, it champions and heralds mediocrity to just downright bad. Just ass. Right?
It's just ass. Yeah.
It's just ass. And it's like, I think that I have a lot of issues and I have a lot of thoughts. It's just easier for me to just sort of convey them via a script because my brain goes super fucking fast and my mouth can't keep up. So that's why I'll stop, because I'm trying to think, because there's a billion words just like dinking at the front of my brain, fighting with each other to be the one word that goes into my mouth. So anyway, but that's it for me.
I feel you. I'm excited though. Oh my gosh. I'm going to come and watch that.
Thank you.
And you guys all know why I'm here and what I'm about today, guys. It's all about the Indiegogo, which I accidentally got rid of the link for because I'm dumb. There it is. Copy link. Okay, here we go. I gotcha.
You have 11 backers now.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even look. Click on my own links. Yay! Hooray!
So exciting.
Let me go let's share this one more time so you guys can all see the wonderful progress we have made. This is so exciting, guys. I've never done an Indiegogo before, even though it says that I did have another campaign, but it's one that I was I did a project that was, anyway, it doesn't matter. Point. Oh my goodness, there it is. We're over $600 now with 11 backers. Thank you guys. This campaign is the day after Christmas. So if you want something from here, one of these awesome t-shirts, beanies, buttons with this amazing logo on it that was designed by Jeff, or like a signed autograph from Isaac C. Singleton Jr., then ask for it for a Christmas present. That's a thing. And if you want to give me a birthday present, that's November 28th. So if you want to give me a birthday present this year,
oh my gosh, your birthday's November 28th? Mine's the 26th.
No shit.
Like right there. No shit. We're like right there together.
Hey,
So
my
you get the
birthday's
Thanksgiving
November
birthdays.
18th.
Oh my gosh. All these November birthdays. How awesome.
But Mandy and I are Sagittarius sisters.
We are.
I'm a
Yeah, we're
Scorpio.
Sagittarius.
Wow.
All right. Well, since I know people have places to go, even myself, actually, Jeff and I are going to go check out a Halloween store tonight and get some additional spooky decorations. And maybe
Fun.
Ooh.
So I'm going to head out for that adventure as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, everyone who backed this campaign. Thank you, everyone. If you can't back it, that's okay. You can share it, get the word out. That does so much too. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. We have a new phrase that came from last night's Mad Libs, Cosby cocktails and gentlemen. Cosby cocktails, I know how we refer to women. Take that how you will. So cocktail and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. God Empress. Until next time, God Empress out.